into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for dialing it in. Yes, I have a slight wry smile on my face. Just hold your horses, girl.
I know. Okay? You're not allowed to put Graham in a polo neck next to me to start the show. Also, I'm sad we didn't start it with a dance.
Oh, okay, we can do it. We can do it.
Ship, ship.
Shamalama. Kidding, kidding, kidding. Now, you've got to start the day with a dance. Hopefully, we will be that opportunity for you this morning to get inspired, get out of bed, go do something meaningful this morning. And, of course, we are going to be having a very serious conversation this morning. I think we've all seen how viral the conversation online has become around abortion rights in the USA right now. And while we can't ignore what's happening on the other side of the world, we can't also help but imagine what it's like being a woman in America right now. In this age, just let it sink in. So we're going to bring along attorneys Kuliso Managa and Siham Samai to discuss the topic a little bit further so we can get a proper perspective.
Absolutely, and of course we're encouraging you at home to join in on the conversation via our WhatsApp line, as this is a conversation that needs to be had. I can't imagine what women in the States is feeling right now, but women all over, you know, it is their bodies, it is their right, and we're definitely going to unpack that. However, on a lighter note, we are doing a bit of a throwback Thursday on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning. We are going
back.
Sonic Hedgehog crazy with the new release of the new Sonic game, plus the new movie is also at the cinemas, so join in on all the nostalgia. Are you getting that nostalgia right now?
Big time. So now I've introduced my little man to the world of Sonic, Knuckles and Tails, and he absolutely loves it. And I've loved the fact that they've kept that retro styling, so it kind of feels like the game you were playing, just a lot better. So we are obviously going to be bringing in the experts, our techies, Grant, as well, to join us to take us down that little, very speedy, spinny road down memory lane. But if you're a fan of Sonic, get on board as well. It's going to be a fantastic show, and we're going to get into the meat of it in just a moment. But first, let's really connect with the rest of this gorgeous team. I hope you brought a little for us, Zozo. I'm feeling a little parched this morning. Morning.
Morning.
I'm bringing the stripes today for the polka dots and the black man. Well, listen, we are here to have a lot of fun for the next 3 hours, and we also love to connect with you on social media. So for today, we want to ask you in our good morning photo, well, in fact, we are saying good morning to you, and we want to know what was your favorite childhood TV game. Comment below, or you can simply send us a voice note. That number is 06347, no, not even 47, just 408-8863. There we go. So send those voice notes through. It is a little bit of a throwback Thursday, so do think back to maybe it was Sonic the Hedgehog was one of your favorites. I personally loved Mario Brothers, but let us know your favorite video games growing up, your childhood TV games. Well, that's where I'm going to say, okay, good morning, grab your coffee, grab your medium fat dairy snack, and of course we are going to get the morning started with some headlines. Here's Jamie.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Starting on the national front this morning, South Africans will receive a reprieve from stage 6 rolling blackouts as from today. Now, in the latest update, Eskom announced that the blackouts would remain at stage 4 throughout the day. Spokesperson Sikonati Manshansha said while some workers started reporting for duty yesterday, there was still a high level of absenteeism. As a result of the unlawful strike, routine maintenance work had to be postponed. The unions NUM and NUMSA met with Eskom management in an attempt to thrash out a wage agreement and have urged workers to return to work. Then, more than 3 months after he was kidnapped, a Cape Town businessman is back with his family after being rescued from his captors. Ishmael Raja, who was kidnapped by armed men outside his business premises in Parow in March, was rescued from a house in Khayelitsha, Cape Town. Police arrested 4 men who had held the 69-year-old captive. Now, Raja owns a construction firm which this year served papers on the city of Cape Town over a cancelled tender contract. 2 Mozambican nationals and 2 South Africans are to appear in court today. Then looking to news on the international front, Gabon and Togo, former French colonies, have become the Commonwealth's 55th and 56th members. Rwanda joined in 2009 and Mozambique came into the group in 1995. Now, none of these states had particular past historical ties to the UK, and the fact that they have opted to join the Commonwealth suggests that they see the organization as a useful network of diplomatic and cultural influence and for exercising soft power on the world stage. Rwanda recently hosted the Commonwealth's summit meeting attended by heads of state and government from all over the world. Then staying on the international front, Indonesian President Joko Widodo is currently visiting Ukraine in an effort to resume peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Now, he also wishes to explore ways to make grain exports to world markets possible again. Widodo chairs the G20 nations and is one of 6 world leaders of the UN's International Crisis Response Group dealing with the impact of war worldwide. He will first meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and then hold talks with Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Then, what are the chances of one spotting a 2-headed snake? Well, a rare one was recently rescued in KwaZulu-Natal. This is certainly something one doesn't get to see every day, but KZN-based snake rescuer Nick Evans, a friend of us here in Expresso, rescued a 2-headed snake in Ndwedwe in KZN. He said it's a southern brown egg-eater, which is common and harmless, but a 2-headed one is very rare and a deformity. The snake was spotted by a man in his yard, and Evans said, and I quote, "I'm sure he was just as surprised as I was. He put it in a bottle and asked me to take it away. Having never seen a 2-headed snake, I jumped at the opportunity." Now, the snake rescuer said it was juvenile, around 30 centimeters in length, and it was interesting to see how it moved. Sometimes the heads would try to go in opposite directions from each other. Then again, it would rest one head on the other. Now, the snake is presently in professional care, Evans said. Oh, don't know if I would be keen for that. But that being said, that is where I leave your 6 o'clock news headlines. It's time to have a first look at the sports. Here's Graham.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Let's start with cricket. Unfortunately, not the best news for Themba Bavuma. Proteas white ball captain Themba Bavuma has sadly been ruled out of the team's entire tour to the UK. That was after sustaining an elbow injury during the recently concluded T20 series in India. And his projected recovery time is 8 weeks. Keshav Maharaj and David Miller will take over the reins and lead the ODI and T20 teams, respectively. 21-year-old Gerald Coetzee has also received his maiden Proteas call-up for the T20 series, while Riley Rousseau also is included in that squad for the first time since the 2016 T20 World Cup. South Africa will play 3 T20s, 3 ODIs, and then 3 tests against England, as well as 2 T20s against Ireland between the 19th of July and the 12th of September. Then we move on to tennis. Defending champion Novak Djokovic, he's reached the Wimbledon 3rd round for the 16th time as potential semi-final opponent Casper Ruud crashed out. So top seed Djokovic brushed aside the 79th ranked Thanasi Kokkinakis 6-1, 6-4 and 6-2. The 3rd seed and French Open runner-up Ruud was knocked out by the 112th ranked Hugo Humbert. And Carlos Alcaraz, he claimed a straight sets win, while Andy Murray was dumped out by John Isner. Then in the women's draw, we saw 2nd seed Annette Kontaveit losing 6-4, 6-love to Julie Niemeyer, while home favourite Emma Raducanu, she was beaten 6-3, 6-3 by Caroline Garcia, who was on fire on the grass courts. No such problems, though, for Ons Jabeur and Maria Sakkari. They've both advanced in straight sets victories. Then it looks like it's finally a done deal as we turn to football. Romelu Lukaku has now returned to Inter Milan on a season-long loan. That's just a year after leaving for Chelsea. Now, Chelsea paid Inter a club record of €97.5 million for Lukaku last summer, but before Christmas he said he was not happy and hoped to rejoin the Italian side. Now, Inter have agreed to pay a loan fee of about €8 million for Lukaku, who helped them win the Serie A back in 2020. 2021. The Belgium striker was not a regular starter for Chelsea last season, did manage to score 15 goals in all competitions, but it's understood the 29-year-old has been willing to take a pay cut to seal that move back to the Italian side. But the club's financial situation meant it was impossible for them to match his wages or buy the forward outright. But clearly that's where he wants to be. Then pick it up on a story that we broke yesterday in Formula One. Three-time Formula One world champion Nelson Piquet has apologized wholeheartedly to Lewis Hamilton after using a racially offensive term to describe the Mercedes star. Hamilton said, and we quote, "The time has come for action," following Piquet's remarks, while Formula One and motorsport's governing body, the FIA, obviously condemned in the strictest terms the 69-year-old Brazilian's comments. Piquet was discussing an incident between Hamilton and Max Verstappen on that first lap of last year's British Grand Prix when he used the term. Piquet added that he strongly condemns any suggestion that the word was used with the aim of belittling a driver because of his skin colour. And that's where we leave our sport for now. We'll delve into all of that again at around 7 o'clock right now. Let's see what the weather has in store.
Thank you, Graham. And we're going to start off with some news. A heat wave with persistent high temperatures is expected in the Richtersveld municipality in the Northern Cape until tomorrow. The SA Weather Service has issued a watch for extremely high fire danger conditions over the Kamiesberg municipality in the Northern Cape and the Matsikama and Berg River municipalities in the Western Cape for today. Conditions are such that the FDI index is above 75. Under these conditions, fires may develop and spread rapidly, resulting in damage to property and possible loss of human and or animal life. And that is according to the Weather Service. Now, it's said when temperatures are extremely high, humans' ability to cool their bodies through perspiring is reduced. This can be a real threat, leading to hypothermia. And if a heat wave occurs during a drought, which dries out vegetation, it can contribute to veld fires. And this is according to the weather services. Well, we now turn our attention from your weather news to your beautiful sunrise views that get sent in by our Expresso viewers. Now, first up, we have Cordell Hammond sent this beautiful picture of the first rays of sunshine hitting the ground. Dean sent this one for us, scattering orange hues. Adrian Witboy showcased this beauty as the sun casts a red hue across the clouds. And Joey Peterson sent us this magnificent, refreshing ocean view sunrise picture. Absolutely beautiful. You can see that was taken in Durban. Finally, Ziad sent us this one from Durban with the light shining through deep purple clouds. And if you would love to share your sunrise photo with us, please do so on the Expresso WhatsApp line. That number is 063 408 8863. We would love to see how you start your morning. But let's get into those temperatures. Heading over to Limpopo, if you are in Polokwane, your low is 2, your high 18. Mbombela 5, reaching a high of 20. Pretoria 5, 18. Johannesburg 3 with a high of 17. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 2's your low, 19 your high. Klerksdorp -1 with a high of 19. Kimberley 3, reaching a high of 18. Bloemfontein -3 with a high of 19 for today. Richards Bay 8, 24. Pietermaritzburg 5 with a high of 24. Sunny conditions in Durban, 12's your low, 23 your high. Mthatha 4 with a high of 23. East London 11 with a high of 23 for today. Cradock, your temperatures range between 0 and 20. A sunny day in Gqeberha, a low of 9, a high of 23. George, your low is 12, your high 23. Staying in the Western Cape, if you're in Cape Town, 17's your low, 24 your high. Worcester 11, 24. Sutherland 6 with a high of 15 for today. And a sunny day in Uppington, 8 is your low and 22 degrees Celsius, that is your high. Well, if you have those sunrise photos, remember to send it through on our WhatsApp line and we'll have more weather for you after 7.
Well, we are going to get very, personal today. We are talking about reproductive rights and also women's bodies. Of course, we know that there's this massive conversation happening around
watershed
abortion
moment,
rights in the USA. What does it mean for the rest of the world? What does it mean for South Africa? So we did bring a panel of experts to discuss this and unpack this with you today.
And I would really beg you to ask this from the question of us having probably one of the most progressive constitutions and legal frameworks in the world to think about this question. But we want to hear your thoughts and your insights. 0634088863. That's the WhatsApp line to drop us a voice note throughout the show. We'd love to hear from you. We'll see you in a sec.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3. Now, we are about to introduce you to our panel discussion because the pro-life versus pro-choice debate can be an intimidating issue, but no matter where you stand, we live in a world where most women are given the right to choose how they navigate their pregnancies. However, in a historic and far-reaching decision, the US Supreme Court officially reversed Roe v. Wade last Friday, declaring that the constitutional right to abortion no longer exists. Now, sadly, young women today will come of age with fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers. And today we discuss the importance of a woman's right to reproductive health care and freedom of choice. And from the Women's Legal Center, we have Director Siam Samai, as well as Attorney Kuliso Mananga. Completing our panel is Marion Stevens, who is an academic and founding director of the Sexual and Reproductive Justice Coalition at Stellenbosch University. Now, we also encourage you at home to join in on this panel discussion. Please share your thoughts and your experiences with voice notes. We would love to hear your voice. That number is 063 408 8863. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. A very serious conversation that should be had. I think I've never seen social media blur up so much. It's everywhere. Let's unpack this. In terms of what this means for South Africa right now, what is our take on it, abortion rights in South Africa?
Can I just, we do know that, Section 12 in our Constitution is exceptionally clear. And although the Roe versus Wade, the Dodgson judgment might have broad impact, we do know that Section 12 gives the protection to women to ensure that they have got bodily integrity and a right to abortion. But it's the softer issues which is not the legislative protection, but the softer issues around the barriers, around the attitudes. And we do know that South Africa comes through a very checkered past, where historically abortion access was given to a small minority. And we have black women that had to go to your backstreet abortions, etc. So we're sitting with that challenges. And when we talk about implementation, these women have to navigate all of those boundaries, barriers, attitudes, behaviors, which actually stops them. And I think what happens is that America's challenge is, we all know, America is where young people, they lead in terms of narratives, and we are concerned that that very conservative views will come through in South Africa.
Because they've always been a bit like ahead of the pack in terms of, I don't want to call this a trend set, but what happens in America ripple effects throughout the world. Now, Kaliso, for those at home who do not understand what just happened in the US with the Roe versus Wade being reversed, can you fill us in on that?
Sure. So in America, their system is a lot different to ours. Their legal system is vastly different to ours, and that's very great for us and horrible for them, of course. For them, in their case, they do not have an express right to the right to abortion in their constitution. So for them, they have several other rights, but there's no actual right in the constitution like we do that says you have a right to reproductive health care and you have the right to bodily autonomy, etc., etc. For them, what they had to do in Roe versus Wade and Planned Parenthood case was they had to actually interpret that right out of other constitutional rights, the right to liberty, and the right to privacy. And what they did is they interpreted it to extend to include the right to abortion. And those were the foundations of how abortion worked once Roe versus Wade and then Casey came to confirm that. And then that meant that nationally, for the United States, you could not ban abortions, and that nationally that was a constitutionally protected right. And that meant various states continue to have issues with this, and even though it was constitutionally protected, we did continue to see a lot of challenges and a lot of ways to claw back at this constitutionally protected thing, and it was continually contested to the point where just recently we had the Dobbs versus Jackson case. So this was a case that came out in the American courts, and it essentially at the base level dealt with there was an abortion ban in a specific state, and they wanted to bring that abortion ban down. So this abortion ban spanned past the 15-week line, and they wanted to have that declared unconstitutional because the Constitution gives the right to abortion. This case continued, and then it got to the Supreme Court, which just last Friday, decided, unfortunately, that because there is no express right, they said that the way Roe and Planned Parenthood interpreted these rights to give effect to abortion were incorrect, and that they would not be protecting this right going forward. So this now means that women in America face a situation where their states have to individually decide how abortion is going to be regulated going forward.
Hectic. Marina, I'm looking at your face and literally you are taking sighs, you're taking gulps, because this hit home for all of us. But what was the reasoning behind this reversal?
So, you know, the States has got a very conservative society. And in South Africa, you know, what happens in the US, when they sneeze, we get flu. And there is a kind of cultural distortion and imperialism, as you've both said, where these kind of ideas filter through. But I want to just alert listeners to say that in South Africa, we have got a very different legal and policy context. And in fact, we are taking these issues a lot further, where our government is actually hosting a conference on reproductive justice, which takes these kinds of issues a lot further than the individualized American conceptualization of rights and choice. It actually talks to justice, which Siam alluded to earlier on, which talks to our political history of population control, where black women were not afforded options and choices. And in fact, our previous abortion law was about ensuring that white women produced to be concerned about the numbers in the population, which is essentially what's happening in South Africa. But reproductive justice means that we support parenting people to choose to parent in a context that's affirming, and also to choose not to if they don't want to. And so this really advances some of these ideas. And, you know, government has got a policy position on this, and it's actually advancing this, even though things in the country are quite dismal at the moment, to be honest. This is something that on paper government is trying to get correct. But I also think that the complexity of this political situation in the US is important to take note, because it does filter in. And we do have a 3% party, as they say, that's taking on these ideas, anti-abortion, homophobic, transphobic, opposing comprehensive sexuality education, opposing, you know, children talking about critical race theory. All these ideas and discourse and narratives, as Shyam says, filtering in to our debates and stopping us from our own South African discussions and ideas. But it's very good that we're talking about reproductive justice, which is a concept that originated in the States, developed by Black feminists, and it's filtered into South Africa, and we are making it our own.
I'm glad we are making it our own. Well, ladies, don't go anywhere. Our panel discussion is going to continue. We do have our WhatsApp line open if you would love to weigh in. That number is 063 408 8863. We will be back with our panel shortly.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. We are still talking about the reproductive rights that women have with regards to their bodies. We're talking about the abortions rights in South Africa as well. And we do have the panel here with us today. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I know we were in a meaty conversation during the ad break. We can't still understand. It almost feels like we're moving backwards in the space that women now have no control over their rights, over their bodies, that there's still some sort of control. But when we open up this conversation, what are we saying to the people right now? What are we saying to the States right now as women in South Africa?
Well, for our end, what we are emphasizing, it's now time for all of us to stand strongly behind our right to abortion and the right to reproductive justice as a whole. The whole field of reproductive justice currently has such a huge stigma. It's shrouded in a lot of shame and guilt and judgment and overall the patriarchy that just really suffocates this issue for women. And so now it's time for us to own this space in a South African society where these things are even taboo to discuss. It's not a conversation that everyday South Africans have. We have so many issues about how so many women, even in South Africa, don't even know they have a right to abortion to begin with, let alone how to access them, where to go, or how to go about it. And even when they try to, it's such a frustrating process that it almost seems as though the right isn't actually realized. So it's time for us to really prioritize this right and to ensure that we are looking at how it actually looks like, and we are really examining that if I am in a position where I need to obtain an abortion, is it really accessible to me? Is the government prioritizing my needs? Is this a choice that I actually really have? And is this important conversations that need to be had? Because the reality is, it's only that discussion you start to have it when it happens to you, but it's such an important discussion to have before, because abortion is also so time sensitive that when it happens and all these things are in place, it can completely spiral very quickly. So it's very essential that these conversations are had, that the facilities are looked at, that access is looked at, that information is looked at, and that we really pay attention to what it means to have this right and what it means for women in South Africa to have this right.
So important. Now, we are having this discussion now here on TV. We've invited our viewers to send through voice notes. We got one from Reiki that we would love to play out to you.
Good morning, Expresso. It's Reiki Finch from Madiveng Brits. I just want to say it's every individual's own choice, but still it is murder in my eyes, but everybody got their own choice to make. And I would say if the parents of today is so busy, there's not really time to look after the daughters. So daughters experiment on things that is not right. So in my opinion, I think the mothers must talk to the daughters. Thank you.
So this is our viewers' view, but I get frustrated when the emphasis is like it takes two people to fall pregnant and the attention is being put on the woman. But I feel like, Marion, as a midwife, right now in South Africa with our own abortion laws, up until what phase is it viable for a woman to get an abortion? How many weeks?
So our law makes provision under, there was a lot of research and work that happened in the early 90s around our law, and there are different provisions at different stages of gestation and development. And so essentially, up until about 20 weeks, if they're very strict conditions, if the continuing pregnancy is a danger to the fetus, or it's going to harm the pregnant person's life, the woman's life. And listening to your person in terms of murder, I want to ask her, what would it mean if her daughter, who's happily married, has an ectopic pregnancy and is sitting on the table, and the doctor says, I cannot operate on you because I cannot kill that fetus. But that ectopic pregnancy is going to burst in her fallopian tube and rupture her uterine artery, and that woman's going to die. What would it mean for her daughter? And that is the context, the radical, extreme nature of what's happening in the US. They are banning abortion outright. And I've had colleagues this week talk about having to deal with a situation and a woman having a ruptured artery in the US and them having to go in and try and save this woman. And the America has one of the highest rates of maternal mortality for a developed world. In fact, it's almost comparable with developing countries. So women are dying in large numbers in America due to pregnancy because of these very extreme and underdeveloped, to be honest, women's health situation.
See, I want us to unpack more the negative factors when it comes to this, because what they're also saying is now you're forcing women to choose between bringing up a child when they have post-trauma, when you bring up a child into poverty. What does this mean in terms of now forcing women to say, like, you can't have an abortion anymore, you have to go through with this pregnancy?
Well, as Khaleesa has indicated, I mean, we've got the legislative framework. We've got policy. We have government saying these are the centres where you can go to, etc., etc. However, we do know that it's not accessible. More than 3,000 healthcare centres, we're sitting with less than 7% of those that is actually accessible to women. So when you get the access, one of the issues is around conscientious objection, which means that healthcare professionals actually saying that they are not going to do the abortion because of a conscientious objection, religious, whatever it might be. That in itself, and because abortion is time sensitive, you can push it from 18 over to 20, which means it's a completely different requirements, and also you will have to go then to a second stage and need to be able to, and if that information is not there, the person is going to go through the particular pregnancy. And also in addition to that, which our abortions, not abortion service, our adoption services in itself is not even an option for, you know, like reproductive justice or rights, because that is not an option for black women too. The system in itself, which means that in terms of choice, the entire system is working against that woman to be not exercising or not being allowed to exercise her right. In addition to that, just coming back to America, when we talk about the narrative, this has been coming on for the what? For the past 30 years.
Yeah, 40 years.
Roe versus Wade, there has been a pushback globally. There's also a shrinking of women's spaces. So I do think that it is a deliberate move of right-wing, conservative persons who are pushing a very particular agenda. And it is coming through in terms of South Africa. We do know that they have the pregnancy centers, which is in America very much backed up by conservative Christian funding. And that, although we don't have any research, but anecdotal, we do know that behavior or those issues filter through the pregnancy centers that has been set up in South Africa. So it has been set up with a very particular bias. And we need to understand that South Africa, we have a huge, not just group, but that is pushing for that conservative views to come through our court systems, through our policies, through our centers, and how do we deal with that? We know that we do have the right in terms of Section 12. However, a lot of work needs to be done to ensure broader access. As Kaliso said, shame that women have to deal with, because the consciousness is around murder, is around a fetus, around exceptionally extreme pushback, and women have to deal with that.
Well, this is a conversation that we can have at length. We are going to continue it. We're going to be here for you. If you would love to weigh in on this conversation, please voice note us your thoughts. Perhaps you have a take on something we've said. Our number is 063 408 8863.
I think let's let the moral compass, let the mind take a little bit of a break now, and let's focus on those olfactory senses. And I think nothing says home quite like the smell of fresh baking. But here's a question, okay? Why have just a regular old muffin when you can have a double chocolate Irish tea infused oat muffin? We've combined everything into one glorious crescendo. Exactly, that's what we're going to do this morning. And what makes this recipe extra exciting is that we are using our Jungle Oats larger oat flakes to make oat flour, giving them the delicious, wholesome flavor that they need. And yes, Chumi, we do get excited about such things as large and small oats on this show, okay?
I mean,
not just because of the beta-glucan, okay, which is the hero of the day, but this is combining, I think, everyone's favorite treat into one.
Basically.
It doesn't matter what your tastes are, we've got you covered. We've got a little bit of tea, got a little bit of chocolate, a beautiful infusion here, and obviously it's not the least healthy snack because we've got our oats in it, so that's a get-out-of-jail-free card.
And the exciting thing for me is that my son is on holiday, so I'm looking for something to keep me fuller for longer, because I'm running around these streets like a crazy person trying to maximize my freedom, and this is the perfect snack for that. And it starts off with us infusing some coconut milk with that Irish tea flavor we were talking about. So we're going to be using just some normal tea bags, but we're going with the Irish tea infusion here. So we're going to let our tea bags steep for a bit, and while that happens, we're going to start making these muffins that we're using here. So let that baby sip for
And
a
what's the
sec.
vibe with a muffin? What typifies a muffin as opposed to a cupcake, or what's a muffin all about?
Look, the pastry chefs will come for me. I'm sorry, but this is my answer. If it's got icing, it's a cupcake. If it doesn't have icing, it's a muffin.
Oh, damn.
Tell me I'm wrong, South Africa.
She said it. Oh, there's someone looking at their cupcake with no icing on it,
And
going
they're
like, oh, well. Okay, I dig that. And what I like about these is you can make them small enough to really be a snack. So you don't have to overindulge. You can pop them in your own lunchbox. You can put them on a beautiful stand so they look gorgeous, but you're going to snack a lot.
The important thing is to snack. But before we get too far, I need you to add some of this bleeded glucan into our muffins.
100%.
So I'm going to ask you just to blend up about a cup of our jungle oats there for us. And while you do that, I'm going to get mixing with the rest of the ingredients. And you've chosen to go with the larger oat because of those, you know, the texture that we want to get from it. So you can grind it up until it's literally powder, or you can leave just a little bit of that texture there. It's completely up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, while you're infusing that, I'm going to go with the wet ingredients, which over here we've got some honey going into our eggs.
Oh, wow. And because it's the bigger grain, it actually breaks down a lot more easily, which I suppose stands to reason, but that looks like a pretty...
I'm liking that. I think
Hey,
we
a
can go
nice,
with that.
robust, beautiful oat flour.
Look
We've
at
whipped up in
that.
all of like 3 seconds.
Imagine.
And look, I do go on about it, but this has become, I mean, the jungle oats have become part of my daily routine, and for good reason, and also my kids now as well. What I'm digging about the jungle's larger oat flakes, same as the regular jungle oats, but just with bigger, thicker flakes for a chewy texture and natural flavor. So if, like me, you go sans with anything else, like I'll just maybe a bit of peanut butter or maybe a little bit of honey. I do like this texture far better, and jungle's larger oat flakes can, of course, also be made to be eaten as a porridge for a cold winter breakfast. You can do it as is, but get creative. It lends itself brilliantly to the creation of this oat flour, as we've just shown you, and these muffins utilize that to become a great snack or a breakfast option. You can have them any time of the day. Any time of the day, you can do it.
Look, I'm just the hands here. You're the words. You say everything. You've said it all.
And it's truth. It's the truth, man.
It's all truth. So the wet ingredients here, we had some honey, some eggs. We infused our coconut milk with that Irish tea. We had some vanilla essence, as well as some oil. That's our wet ingredients. Our dry ingredients include those larger oat flakes that you just ground up for us. We've got some flour, some cocoa powder, some salt, baking powder, and those will make up the dry. And all we're going to do now is I'm going to infuse that hot milk mixture into our eggs and basically mix everything else together. As you can see, I've left some of our chocolate bits here.
Buttons.
I'm going to add some of them as well towards the end, just so that we still have those pieces.
I'm telling you, this muffin is trying very hard to be a cupcake, eh? It is trying so hard. We might have to re-establish that name once we've done this. So I'm assuming here, obviously, when you're mixing hot and egg, just tread lightly.
Very
You obviously
mindful.
don't want a bowl of scrambled eggs.
As you saw there, I was whisking like a crazy person because I wanted to make sure that as I'm tempering it, I'm not cooking those eggs. So that's why I had to use that ninja motion. I'm not sure if you saw that. And then into our dry mix, then goes our wet mix. And then we just fold everything together and bake these babies up in the oven until they are completely baked. Stick a skewer into there, and as long as it comes out dry, then your muffins are ready to enjoy. But then we still have to make a ganache on top, which is just using those chocolate bits and some hot cream. Mix that together, and we just drizzle that on the top once they're baked.
Up in the, does it matter? I'm going to use my hands. I have sanitized and washed. I just want to send...
Okay.
Are we just put some away? Do it.
Put it all in there.
Go. Let it melt.
Let it melt.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh at me. Okay.
Don't worry.
I have a mixer and I want to use my mixer, man.
It's okay. And then we bake these babies up at 180 degrees. You can bake it. Obviously, watch your oven. People's ovens are different. You can get the recipe instructions on expressoshow.com. But for this instance, this is literally it. I've added all my cocoa, my chocolate bits in there. We bake these babies up. That's, it's
taken the humble muffin and it has elevated. What I love about this is there's a journey of discovery of flavor notes throughout this. We've got the beautiful chocolate kind of, power pack there. We've got the soft Irish tea infusion coming through. We've got a beautiful textural element.
Yep.
It's got a lot of nutrients in there as well, with a little bit of indulgence as well. Absolutely perfect. Is it breakfast? Is it a muffin? Is it a cupcake? We don't know, but it is a beautiful, and we want you to upgrade your muffins and get the full recipe for these delicious double chocolate Irish tea infused oat muffins on our website, where we house all of our culinary inspiration, expressoshow.com. Plus, get this, when you buy any Jungle product in store right now, you stand a chance of winning your share of 2 million rand.
Ooh.
Simply WhatsApp a photo of that till slip to 072-136-9927. Then cross your hopefully lucky little fingers, and we'll also put all those competition details out on our social media pages for you to enjoy. I've got to say good luck, but please, if you're going to bake these guys or add any of your own little twists and spins, please show us. We'd love to see it. I'm going to go have a little taste. Come here, my little friend.
What's beta-glucan? Hello, do you know what beta-glucan is? What is beta-glucan? No one knows what beta-glucan is.
Beta-glucan is a natural fiber in jungle oats that helps lower cholesterol and keep hearts well.
Jungle, do life with heart.
Christmas comes early on Expresso as Golden Cloud and Beacon search for South Africa's best friends baking duo. You and a friend stand a chance to win the grand prize worth 50,000 Rand in the ultimate Christmas in July bake-off. To enter the challenge, create your bake with Golden Cloud and Beacon. Share your photo of the bake on the Golden Baker Search Christmas in July edition competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages, or WhatsApp line on 063-814-2300 using hashtag Golden Baker Search. And tell us why you are SA's best baking duo and why you think your creation is the best. You could be one of the 5 finalists competing live on Expresso for the grand prize worth 50,000 Rand. The winning duo to be crowned live on Expresso this July. Brought to you by Golden Cloud and Beacon. Entries close on the 17th of July. Details and T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we're continuing the final part of our conversation this morning with our panel. Now, although women have a constitutional right to an abortion in South Africa, less than 7% of healthcare facilities provide access to abortion services, and of the 505 facilities specifically designed to provide these services, less than 200 are operational. Thus, we continue our discussion on the importance of reproductive rights during the reversal of those rights in the USA. And we encourage you to join us in on this conversation. Share your thoughts, perhaps your experiences, and you can do so via voice note. Our number is 063-408-8863.
Ladies, I do believe we have a WhatsApp voice note from Adian. This is what they had to say on the line.
Hello, this is Adibao Managa from Rustenburg, Northwest, and I feel that women should have the right to decide whether or not they get an abortion, whether or not they have a child of their own, and have the free will and should be allowed to get abortions when necessary.
So that was our first voice note that came through. Let's take a listen to one that came through from Anthea.
Good morning, Expresso team. I also was against abortions until I needed an abortion because of an ectopic pregnancy. Women will decide for themselves. They know what their body needs. We can't decide for anyone else.
Okay. Well, So we have two very different takes. Marian, I'm going to start off with you. Those statistics of the lack of infrastructure, or out of the 505 facilities that is currently available to South African women, only 200 are operational. Do we know why that is the case?
So when the Choice of Termination of Pregnancy Act was liberalised, there was a lot of engagement and work to try and work towards implementation. But this kind of was distracted by the imposition of the gag rule by George Bush in 2000. And the US actually provides a lot of funding in South Africa. It's their largest funding through the state, US aid, but also through private donors. And so essentially our government then stepped back. And at that time as well, it was the HIV infection, and rightly, everything was focused on HIV treatment. And so for the past 20 odd years or so, we have not done anything really from the state. There's been work done by international NGOs and by, funded by private donors, but we haven't institutionalized training of health workers around abortion. Doctors graduate in South Africa without being able to put in an IUD, do a pap smear, and even do emergency treatment if you've got a septic abortion, which is ridiculous because in the rest of the region, in Zambia and Zimbabwe, doctors graduate with these skills. We don't have generic abortion drugs registered through SAPRA. We saw all the work, we've heard all about SAPRA through COVID. In Zambia, there are 3 generic abortion drugs registered. And so our tracking of reproductive health commodities is not okay. And also, health workers have somehow now heard about this language of conscientious objection, which has come from the States, as Shyam talks about these narratives, this discourse. Conscientious objection in South Africa, the legal understanding of that has been around military refusal and around, white boys not wanting to go into the army ages ago under apartheid. We don't have the language of conscientious objection. In our law, we've got the language of obstruction to access or refusal to care. And that is somehow what health workers have started to do and embrace. We, as a health worker, me training under apartheid, we would never refuse somebody care. If somebody came in, you went to them and you assisted and delivered. And now what's happening is you're starting to see health workers willy-nilly, shame, Shyam.
Oh, so you're okay? You're welcome to step off if you need to a second.
So you've started to see health workers refuse to care and refuse to provide services. And in many ways, this is filtered through as something that health workers have adopted, and it's become accepted. And I think that that's because there's been a refusal to lead by the Department of Health.
I just wanted to find out, because we are running out of time, I wanted to know, for someone, a woman in South Africa that is seeking access to these services and they are not able to, what are their options, what are their choices?
In terms of that, the Tropica Act is very clear that when they are faced in a situation where someone is trying to obstruct their access, this is actually it's a criminal offense in terms of the act. So in terms of that person can actually get prosecuted, and it's something that you can report to the police. But because we, of course, know we have general issues with our policing system, some women might feel safer with approaching lawyers. So we really generally encourage women to approach organizations like the SRJC or our Women's Legal Center and to report these cases, because it's important that women not only understand that this is a right that's constitutional, it's a right that needs to be protected, and they need to ensure that no one gets in between them and their right. So when this happens to them, when a healthcare provider refuses service, when a security guard tells them that we actually are not doing anything today, please go away, this is an offense. This should not be happening to them. And if they're ever in a position where access is being frustrated or they're being run around for whatever reason. This is something they should report. This is something that they need to alert people about, because once we shine light into the struggles of what women are actually going through, we can all collectively start really investigating and looking into these issues and work to correct that system.
I definitely feel like we still have a long way to go. However, it is important that we have these conversations. It's important that we have these panels to bring your insight on this topic, ladies.
Thank you very much for having us.
No, thank you.
And for, you know, setting the scene and having this discourse, because I think a lot of people have a lot to learn. The callers were it was so nice to hear what people were saying and to see the kind of correlation between the person that was opposed to and somebody else that said, I was opposed and now I'm supportive because of that extreme example of ectopic pregnancy. I think people need to have these conversations safely.
Well, Marion, Kaliso, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you would love to weigh in, our WhatsApp line is always open to you.
We've been loving rewarding you and your amazing sons over the last couple of weeks, and we're about to announce our latest winner.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere.
So there is no denying that having a son in your life is one of the greatest blessings that your heart can know. I can speak from experience, and Panado is giving you the chance to be a winner every single week, a day, with a cash prize of 2,500 Rand. It could be yours. All you need to do is simply reply to our Facebook and our Twitter post and tell us about the achievements of your amazing son. And we've got our 8th lucky winner on the line right now, and she's familiar. We know this person, but can we get a drum roll anyway? A massive congratulations to Josephine Pickstone! Oh, she is without a doubt, I think, our most committed fan. We absolutely adore her. And this is what she wrote on her competition post. She said, I nominate my handsome son, and I stress handsome. His achievement is that he is doing so well in his schoolwork. I'm so proud of him. He is a kind and gentle soul and has outstanding manners. He makes eye contact when he speaks to someone and always does a handshake. He's 17 years old and in grade 11, and he's just received a reward for best performance in his schoolwork. Hashtag a dose of care. He sounds like an absolute gent, and we know that she is a wonderful, wonderful fan of the show. Josephine, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Graham. Good morning, Expresso team. I'm very well, thank you. Just excited.
I'm so glad. We've obviously connected with you a number of times on the show because you are so active in your support of us, and we thank you so much for that. It is so nice to make you a winner, finally. You've done it. I'm sure you've entered about 1,000 competitions on the show. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I'm on top of the world. I can't believe it, eh?
But it sounds like you obviously deserve it, but it sounds like your son really, really does deserve it. Josephine, he seems like a wonderful young man. I don't want to say boy because it sounds like he is becoming this incredible young man. If you look back, do you have one favorite memory that stands out that you shared with your son?
My favorite memory is our spur memories. When he was little, he loved to go to Spur. He loved to jump in castle with his friends. Lovely.
Oh, my boy as well. I think they are cut from the same cloth. I've got to ask, what are you going to use the 2,500 Rand for? What are you going to use your prize money for?
I'm going to use the prize money for adding to his birthday. It's coming up in December. He's going to be 18. Then I'm going to add it towards the kitty to have a bash for him.
Oh, man, it's so worth it. And now that we can have parties again, embrace that. But he sounds like a wonderful young guy that deserves all of the accolades and the praise. So please give him a massive pat on the back from us, a huge hug from us. And while you're at it, ask him to give you a hug from us, from the Expresso family, because we love you and we miss you. And we want to have you back in studio at some point. But so happy that we could make you a winner. Well done.
Thank you so much, Expresso team.
An incredible son is, I think, a gift beyond measure, but it is great when you can reward with just a little something, and that 2,500 Rand is going to go so far. Each of their achievements are outstanding. Now stand the chance of winning yourself by entering our Panado Sons celebration competition right now, and here's how you can do it.
Celebrate our sons and win. Catch Expresso to stand a chance to win a 2,500 Rand cash prize from Panado each weekday morning from the 20th to the 30th of June. Nominate your son and tell us about their biggest achievement that you're the most proud of. Don't forget to use the hashtag #ADoseOfCare. Enter now. Each day's competition closes at 10 a.m. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Want to win a taste of the smooth life? Buy a Tropica, find your unique code under the cap, and stand a chance to win your share of 100,000 Rand worth of Uber vouchers. If you find the word treasure under your cap, you will win one of these 10 big prizes: a gas hob, a fridge, a clothing voucher worth 10,000 Rand, one of 3 Rest Assured beds, or one of 2 Uber vouchers worth 10,000 Rand each. You could also win a trip for 2 to the smooth Seychelles, or a whopping 250,000 Rand worth of prizes from Suzuki. So buy a Tropica today, and you could win big. See pack for details. Tropica, nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Second hour of the show is fast approaching, and the guy with the yellow hair stepped in to talk about the hedgehog with the blue hair.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hope they don't get green with envy, but let's quickly catch up with your morning headlines.
Thank you so much, guys. Starting on the national front one more time, a mass funeral service will be held on Wednesday for the 21 young people who died in an Eastern Cape tavern on Sunday morning. The provincial government has announced that thereafter the families would be assisted with transportation of the remains to be interred at burial sites of their choice. The government yesterday thanked those who had promised support in preparation for the funeral. The 21 young patrons died under mysterious circumstances in the Enyobeni Tavern in Scenery Park, East London, in the early hours of Sunday morning. Then South Africans will receive a reprieve from stage 6 rolling blackouts as from today. In the latest update, Eskom announced that the blackouts would remain at stage 4 throughout the day. Spokesperson Sikonati Manshansha said while some workers started reporting for duty, there was still a high level of absenteeism. As a result of the unlawful strike, routine maintenance work had to be postponed. The unions NUM and NUMSA met with Eskom management in an attempt to thrash out a wage agreement and have urged workers to return to work. Then looking to news on the international front, some of the largest US retailers are rationing emergency contraception because of surging demand in the wake of Supreme Court's abortion ruling. Demand for both emergency contraceptives and abortion pills, which require a prescription, have soared in recent days following the US Supreme Court's repeal of Roe v. Wade, overturning the constitutional right to abortion. Abortion has been banned in at least 7 states following Friday's landmark Supreme Court decision, and some 16 additional states are expected to follow suit in the coming weeks. Then Gabon and Togo, former French colonies, have become the Commonwealth's 55th and 56th members. Rwanda joined in 2009 and Mozambique came into the group in 1995. Now, none of these states had particular past historical ties to the UK. However, the fact that they have opted to join the Commonwealth suggests that they see the organization as a useful network of diplomatic and cultural influence and for exercising soft power on the world stage. Now, Rwanda recently hosted the Commonwealth's summit meeting attended by heads of state and government from all over the world. Then Maya, who was rescued after her entire family was slain by poachers, has become the force behind the revival of her critically endangered species. Bonobos are endemic to the rainforests of the Democratic Republic of Congo, but less than 20,000 remain as a result of illegal wildlife trade. Now, Maya was rescued by conservationist Claudine Andre. She then founded and built Lola ya Bonobo, the first of its kind and the world's only sanctuary dedicated to this species. Now, here the team provides vet care and psychological trauma while also pairing each animal with a human guardian who parents them. Now, once they have been rehabilitated, they're then transferred to a Bonobo Community Reserve, a 47,500 hectare site where locals have pledged to offer protection. Over 125 bonobos have already been rescued and 14 were recently released back into the wild. This as generations of Maya's offspring continue to populate the reserve. Now, through Claudine's efforts and with Maya's invaluable help, bonobos regain a foothold in the wild, and we love to hear that. That being said, that is where I leave your 7 o'clock news headlines. It's time to have another look at the sports. Here's Graham.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Let's start with cricket. Not the best news for Proteas white ball captain Themba Bavuma, who has now been ruled out of the team's entire tour to the UK. That was after sustaining an elbow injury during the recently concluded T20 series in India. And sadly, his projected recovery time is now 8 weeks. That means Keshav Maharaj and David Miller will take over the reins and lead the ODI and the T20 teams, respectively. Then 21-year-old Gerald Coetzee has received his maiden Proteas call-up. That's for the T20 Ice Series, with Riley Rousseau also included in that squad for the first time since the 2016 T20 World Cup. Then South Africa will be playing in 3 T20s, 3 ODIs and then 3 tests against a high-flying England after their series win against New Zealand, as well as 2 T20s against Ireland between the 19th of July and the 12th of September. Then we stay in the area, but onto grass courts this time. We move for tennis and defending champion Novak Djokovic. He reached the Wimbledon third round for now the 16th time as potential semi-final opponent Casper Ruud crashed out. So top seed Djokovic, he brushed aside the 79th ranked Thanasi Kokkinakis 6-1, 6-4 and 6-2. The third seed and French Open runner-up Ruud was knocked out by the 112th ranked Hugo Humbert. Then Carlos Alcaraz, he claimed a straight sets win, while Andy Murray was dumped out by John Isner in front of his home crowd. Then in the women's draw, second seed Annette Kontaveit, she lost 6-4 and 6-love to Julie Niemeyer, while home favourite Emma Raducanu, she was beaten 6-3 and 6-3 by an on-fire Caroline Garcia. And then no such problems for Ons Jabeur and Maria Sakkari. They've both advanced in straight sets through to that third round. Then on to football news. It's a signed and done deal. Romelu Lukaku has returned to Inter Milan on a season-long loan, just a year after leaving for Chelsea. So Chelsea paid Inter a club record of €97.5 million for Lukaku. That was last summer, but just before Christmas, he said he was not happy and hoped to rejoin the Italian side. Well, Inter have agreed to pay a loan fee of about €8 million for Lukaku, who's helped them win the Serie A title in the 2021 season. The Belgian striker has not been a regular starter for Chelsea last season, but did score 15 goals in all competitions. And it's now understood the 29-year-old was willing to take a pay cut to seal a move back to the Italian side, but the club's financial situation meant it was impossible for them to match the wages or buy the forward outright, but they have found a solution. And then finally on to Formula One, returning to a story that broke yesterday. 3-time Formula One world champion Nelson Piquet has apologized wholeheartedly to Lewis Hamilton after using a racially offensive term to describe the Mercedes star. Now, Hamilton said and we quote, "The time has come for action," following Piquet's remarks. Well, Formula One and motorsports governing body, understandably the FIA, they condemned the 69-year-old Brazilian's comments on the day. Piquet was discussing an accident between Hamilton and Max Verstappen on the first lap of last year's British Grand Prix when he used the offensive term. Piquet added that he strongly condemns any suggestions Bulletin that the word was used with the aim of belittling a driver because of his skin colour. Well, that's where we leave that story and our news bulletin for now. We'll touch on those headlines again at 8 o'clock. As you prepare to hit the roads, let's see what traffic you might encounter.
Thanks, G-Man. And we start off with traffic in Gauteng and Midrand. There's been an accident. It's on the Allendale Road just before Dane, and one lane is currently obstructed, causing delays, so please approach with caution. Then in the Western Cape and Kuils River on the R300 southbound, there's a stationary vehicle after Van Riebeek Road. The left lane is currently blocked. Please be on the lookout for this. And heading over to KZN in Durban North on the N2 southbound, there's been a multi-vehicle accident just before Queen Nandi Drive, and it's obstructing that left lane. Please add some extra travel time to your journey. And that's where we leave your traffic for now. Let's take a quick look at your weather. And at that, a bit of weather news. Japan is experiencing its worst heat wave since records began in 1875. The blistering heat has drawn official warnings of a looming power shortage and led to calls for people to conserve energy where possible. Cases of hospitalization are on the rise, and weather officials warn the heat is likely to continue in the coming days. Heat waves have become more frequent, more intense, and last longer because of human-induced climate change. The world has already warmed by about 1.1 degrees Celsius since the industrial era began, and temperatures will keep rising unless governments around the world make steep cuts to emissions. Tokyo charted temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius yesterday for a fifth straight day, marking the worst documented streak of hot weather in June since records started in 1875. Meanwhile, the city Isesaki, northwest of the capital, saw a record 40.2 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature ever recorded in June for Japan. Well, from heat waves to our shores here, looking at your sunrise views. And for 7 o'clock, we want to take a look at one that was sent in by one of our regulars, Adrian Witboy from Durbanville. He caught a beautiful glimpse of the sun rays peeking through the leaves. Andre Norman sent in this moody photo of the sky lighting up all the way from Gqeberha. Elvira sent us this lovely view from her neighborhood out in Pietermaritzburg. And finally, Nikki sent this beautiful photo. It's of the sky above the Durban Blue Lagoon. Absolutely beautiful. Don't forget to share your sunrise photo with us. That WhatsApp number is 063-408-8863. Let's look at your temperatures. Polokwane, your low for today is 2, your high is 18. Mbombela, 5 with a high of 20. Sunny in Pretoria, 5's your low, 18 your high. Johannesburg, 3, reaching a high of 17. Mahikeng, 2, 19. Klerksdorp starting off on a -1 with a high of 19. Kimberley, 3 is your low, 18 your high. It's sunny in Bloemfontein with a -3 and 19 as a high for today. Richards Bay, 8, reaching a high of 24. Pietermaritzburg, 5, 24. Durban, 12 with a high of 23. It's sunny in Mthatha, 4's your low, 23 your high. East London, 11, reaching a high of 23. A sunny day for Cradock, 0 with a high of 20. Gqeberha, 9, reaching a high of 23. George, 12, 23. Cape Town, 17 with a high of 24 for today. Sunny in Worcester, your temperatures range between 11 and 24. Sutherland, 6 and 15. And Uppington, your temperatures for today, a low of 8 with a high of 22 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now. Another update and a final one coming your way at 8.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Excuse me, the frog's in the throat today. It's a little frog party. But this one, understandably, will catch in your throat because this is a massive, massive thing that we're going to broach right now. Mind-blowing, in fact. The effects of COVID-19 obviously caused many people to view their medical aid and life insurance in a completely different light, with many realizing how crucial it is to be prepared for unseen events, as much as we can be, at least. Now, in fact, Discovery Life recently reported in their annual claims data that COVID-19 accounted for 60% of death claims in 2021. Wow, put that in your conspiracy theory, making it the single highest cause of death in any given year since 2012.
That is
Wow.
some crazy stats over there, but even more staggering is that Discovery Life have paid over 11.7 billion rand in claims, monumental and some would say even applaudable. Now, this being said, joining us this morning to take us through some more fascinating findings is Kashmira Kanji, the Head of Market Analytics, Research and Development at Discovery Limited. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
What a tale of the tape. Now that the numbers are coming in, it really does paint a picture. Now, Discovery Life paid over, as we just reported, excuse me, 11.7 billion rand to your clients in 2021. Why is this so significant?
I think it's such a great question. It's been so significant to us that we were able to support our clients through such a difficult and unprecedented time, especially with, many people, many families experiencing such significant loss. It's important that a product like life insurance just supports them through it. Of course, it hasn't just been claims as a result of death, but claims as a result of becoming severely ill as a result of COVID-19, where people aren't able to continue working and earning the living that they're ordinarily used to earning. So to be there for them at a time like that has been incredibly important for us, and it was front of mind for us, and we're very happy that we could support our clients through this.
Understanding so, but Kashmira, if one removes the claims that's related to COVID-19, there was still such an overall increase in claims, including death claims. What does this then show us?
I think there's so many things that will be coming up over time that we're keeping a close eye on. One thing that we're really focusing on is mental health. So what we found is an increase in the number of deaths as a result of suicides. Now, that's a concerning trend and quite obviously, something that we would probably have expected given the extent of loss that people experienced, the loss of their freedom during the pandemic, the loss of family members, the loss of health, and the loss of finances potentially. So there was a lot of loss, and we expected mental health and suicides to be on the increase, but definitely not to this extent. We saw a significant increase over the last year, and we're really going to keep a close eye on these deaths.
Another concerning trend has to be the increase in cancer for both adults and for children. After COVID, I believe the #1 claim was for cancer. What does this tell us about your ecosystem, if you will?
It's this is something we've been watching pre-COVID as well. Cancer's always been one of the top causes of severe illness and death in women specifically, but now we're seeing the very same trend in men. So for the first time in our claims history, cancer is also the #1 claims cause in men, and outside of COVID, of course. And this is a concerning trend, and it could be as a result of many people not being able to attend to their routine screenings and, picking up cancers at an early stage during the pandemic, having avoided hospitals and routine checkups. But one of the positives is that through our Discovery Health Medical Scheme, we're seeing that there is an upward trend in the number of people returning to screening regularly, and that is important. Picking up a cancer at an early stage can only improve the prognosis and prevent death as a result of cancer. So we're very happy that we have a partner who supports our clients through this, through screening and through encouraging screening. And we hope that we see a small reversal in the number of deaths and severe illnesses as a result of cancer in the near future.
Creating that culture of awareness around that,
100%.
yeah.
Now, I also believe that Discovery Life has a phenomenal offering for children as well. Please do share more about this.
Children, that's been one of our focus. We've got many young families working within Discovery, so lots of it's a topic that's close to everyone's heart within the team, in the R&D team. And something that we've realized is people are very likely to insure their cell phones and their cars, which are completely replaceable to a large extent, but they are less likely to insure the health of their children. And with the increase in the number of cancer events that we're seeing in children, cancers that are very difficult to treat, and other conditions which are sometimes rare and equally difficult to treat, we expect that the costs of these are quite a heavy burden on families. In some instances, families need to relocate to get the best treatment at a certain hospital for children. In many instances, one or both of the parents need to take more time off work, thereby losing income to take care of a child that's sick. And all of this really does put a significant strain on the family finances at a time when you need income to be able to treat your child. So we have an offering that's able to cover for all these rare conditions, for any traumatic things that children might do, like, jumping off high walls or into pools or sticking fingers into plugs, anything that might end them in hospital, in ICU. These are covered by a life insurance product that ensures that nobody has to sell the roof above their head to afford their children the best treatment that they can.
I used the word ecosystem earlier because it's the only way that I can wrap my head around your product offering and the space that you play around in. And I think it's worth people looking at that life insurance product offering because there is a dynamism there that I think they might miss. But if we look at the flip side of that coin for you guys, when we look at the optimism that there is in the power of healthy living and well-being, which is a fundamental pillar of your business, as well as obviously vaccination, what should people know about how a healthy lifestyle can help them manage their health and then lower their morbidity risk?
Oh, I absolutely love the way you framed it. There is a positivity in the product, and that is that, you don't have to wait to get, to have a heart attack before you can gain from your life insurance. We believe that you can actually get majority of your premiums back if you're taking care of your health. And that's changing the paradigm of what life insurance has been historically. So we see clients who are incredibly engaged in the model at either gold or diamond being 59% less likely to die. That's nearly 60% less likely to die than someone who isn't engaged in health and wellness. So this increase in life expectancy means that we don't plan to see a claim on that life in the very near future. And we can return a lot of the premium that client is paying to us in the form of a payback. We've paid in excess of 9 billion rand to date in the form of paybacks. If you contrast that to, paying 11.8 billion rand in claims, we've paid as much in paybacks. And that's an incredible thing. Just last year alone, we paid 1.2 billion rand in paybacks to clients in the midst of a pandemic, when people were feeling the pinch and the strain. To be able to gain from your life insurance while you are alive is a remarkable thing.
I understand it. It's more about life than it is about death, and as it should be. Kashmira, thank you so much for joining us this morning and doing the work that you and your team are doing every day. Please send our best and have a fantastic day. Some enlightening facts coming out there.
Thank you for having us. Have a lovely day.
Get this, with over 11.7 billion rand paid out in claims in a single year, Discovery continues to ensure that their clients have cover against uncertain future events. Now, may these stats be a reminder to keep an eye on your health. If we can encourage you, visit the doc regularly and make sure you have the right cover in place to support you in times of need. To find out more about Discovery Life, you can, of course, visit their website, which is discovery.co.za.
Graham, you really like that song.
I love it because it heralds good things when you are here, my friend. Grant Hines is back to talk a little bit of gaming, and this is one of the OGs. Let the games begin. In fact, this might have been where the games began. Sonic the Hedgehog has captivated audiences, both young and old, for over 31 years now, a lifetime, and the franchise is here to stay. And this morning, we are reviewing Sonic Origins, the latest Sonic gaming title with Grant Hines. You could have gone with the blue hair this morning. What I'm saying, you could have had an opportunity.
I am getting my hair redone today, by the way. But
we can't wait for that, and we are here for this. We love Sonic, man. We absolutely adore it. Talk me through the origins of Sonic before we get into the Sonic origins.
Okay. So we're going to be talking a lot about Sonic a little bit later, because Sonic has been such a formative game for myself. I remember it was the first 16-bit game that I ever played. So for those of you who are still super young, back in the day, we had 8-bit games, which were like Mario Brothers, and then brand new technology came out, which allowed us to play with double the processing power with these 16-bit
It was a quantum leap forward. Let's just say it was massive.
Yeah. And that's why you could get games where Sonic can run so fast, and like the screen just looks wildly quick. So this is why Sonic was so appealing. It was the fastest kind of game that we ever got to play, and it has so many like nostalgic memories for myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there who got to play Sega Mega Drives at home.
So you're taking these wonderful nostalgic ideas and you're planting them in a very upgraded system now. So is it all nostalgia? Are there some new features? How have they kind of taken the game into the here and now?
So there are a couple of things. There are a bunch of the old classic games. So you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, the original one, which is great. You've got Sonic CD, which is a game I never actually got to play because you had to buy a peripheral for your device, and I didn't get that. Then Sonic 2, actually, I didn't really play this either because I didn't own a copy. I rented one back in the days.
This one does, yeah.
And then Sonic and Knuckles, which was Sonic. This was my favorite one because Knuckles was so cool because you could you press double tap and then he'd hit a wall and then you could climb up the wall. You'd crawl up a wall and climb. Just like in the movie, he does the same thing. I was like, there it is. I was like Leonardo DiCaprio meme. I was like, that's it. That's the move. So that was my favorite. But everybody obviously knows Sonic the Hedgehog. They've got two different modes. They've got anniversary mode. They've got a classic mode. Classic mode means that it's 4:3, which means it really does give you the aspect ratio of those old TVs. And then anniversary mode is when they've redone everything. So let me just show you how good it looks.
Wow, when they say remastered, they've given it a good go, hey? Come on, lad. Oh, my word. Honestly, my brain just went
I love seeing Graham come to with these things. Oh, yes.
But it is. It's like a part of our childhood, of our development. You say formative, it really is. Oh, my word.
So, yeah,
the funny thing is they had to re-engineer that sound, and you can imagine how they would have had to, is it right? Is it perfect? Now it's perfect.
So obviously the old classic Sonic the Hedgehog, and then this is interesting because you can play as different, because it's the anniversary edition that added new characters like Tails, Knuckles, and you can play with them in the first one. So obviously the first game. So yes.
Yeah, look at him.
So you remember any of this, Graham?
I do. Well, I've been watching my son kind of start playing now and come to terms with it, and I mean, there are so many cool apps and ways that you can look at Sonic now from different lenses, because it really has it's been taken on by the new generation in such a beautiful way.
And obviously they're films and stuff, and I never thought that Jim Carrey would be in a film.
I know, and there's some interesting stories behind the film, and of course the second Sonic film is out now, and JP is going to be taking us through the history of Sonic in film a little bit later. But if you love the brand, if you love this little blue guy and all of his mates, then this is the edition you've got to get remastered, and it looks phenomenal and almost exactly the same, which is brilliant.
Oh, well, listen, speaking of some cool tech, when it comes to capturing special moments, the S22 camera has everything we need and more. And as the sun sets in Cape Town and the stars begin to shine, we follow Grant and Amble through the lens of the Samsung Galaxy S22 to see what they got up to on date night. And I'm quite surprised I didn't get the phone call to babysit.
Amber and I love going out in the evenings as a date night. We're so busy at work, we work together during the day, and it's such a great time just to relax and do cool stuff like this. One of my favorite things about living in Cape Town is that there's always something to do, especially at night. You know, we can go out and go rollerskating or go ice skating. There's just so much to do in the city that, you know, it's a lot of fun. Wow, so I'm really impressed with the rollercade. This place looks incredible. This looks so 80s. There's so many neon lights and, you know, flashing disco balls. It just looks like such a cool environment. I have never skated before, so this is going to be a very interesting experience. I've rollerbladed, but skating was a little bit before my time. Out with our Samsung Galaxy S22s are just so incredible. It's one of my favorite parts about taking photos in the city is that the series has got really big sensors, much bigger sensors than previous phones, and because of that it can allow in more light. It's also got a remarkable technology called nano-binning, which it takes in all these different pixels and shoves them together for a really crisp image, even in a traditional environment where you wouldn't see anything. The 4nm processor that it's got in it is absolutely mind-blowing. So in order to take all that information and then process it into a image at a really high speed, you need a really fast processor, and this is a revolutionary introduction that Samsung have made. Well, so I think I did pretty well on the, considering it was my first time. I think I'm gonna have to come a couple more times to get a bit of practice in. Amble, like as always, has just picked this up so quickly. She's just going on her own and just doing her own thing. And I know her, she is so determined to master something. She won't let this get her down. We're just finishing up with rollerskating right now, so my calves are killing me, and I can't wait to go grab a coffee and have an ice cream, walk around the waterfront and just chill out. I'm incredibly impressed with the S22's nightography features. It's got a 108 megapixel ultra wide on the back and a 40 megapixel on the front, which means that the sensor size is a lot bigger, can let in a lot more light. And then with the new AI, what they've been able to do is to composite a bunch of images together in a really fast period of time to get the best looking picture. So they're taking all of that light and creating something absolutely remarkable. I mean, you could see it for yourself in these pictures. They are absolutely incredible, and nothing like this has been done on a mobile device. Another cool thing is that this AI's nightography capability carries over from photos all the way through to video, so your videos look as good as your photos do. When you go out at night, generally, it's the memories that you want to capture always tend to look terrible because of the devices that we've got that just don't take good enough photos. But with the S22 and running around Cape Town now tonight, we're capturing these intimate moments in the most magical way. And seeing Amble play a marimba was just, I'm never going to forget that. I mean, we've taken a lot of photos of each other, but what's an Instagram photo without food? So Samsung have done some amazing work on the AI side of things, but even though that's so incredible, they've actually improved the hardware in a dramatic way. So they've got this clear glass and lens tone that really minimizes any form of lens flare or any interruption that hits the glass and then obviously the sensor. So you get really crisp images. Of all the hardware and software improvements that Samsung have made, it's really hard to identify one that is your favorite. But if I had to pick one that is my favorite, it would probably be portrait mode. The AI is able to detect the subject and separate the subject from the background to a strain of hair, which has never been done until now. You can get really impressive portrait images in the best light and in the worst light. Ice cream's melted super fast tonight, so luckily I got some snaps in. Look, it doesn't look like a happy ice cream, but the photo's good, and obviously it's really nice this winter to like cover this night up with a cup of coffee. My favorite part of tonight is the fact that, you know, we get to go on a date night and capture these memories. We're going to be able to share them. We're going to recall back to them. We're going to be able to tell Jamie, our daughter, everything that we've been doing over the past while, just by having these really amazing high-resolution images that will last a long time. You know what? I think that Samsung's done, I would say, I haven't done it, but Samsung's done justice to Cape Town with that nightography mode. Remember, we're in winter. It's super low light, the sun is setting early, but there's just so much peripheral light that a lot of cameras can't capture, and we got to capture the mood of the city, and I'm really impressed. If you're looking at getting the most advanced mobile device that takes the most incredible photos on the market, then I highly recommend upgrading to any one of the Samsung Galaxy S22 phones.
Oh, I'm so happy Mom and Dad got to capture some beautiful photos in night mode. That can always be so tricky.
And they make date night look so easy, so kudos to you guys. Glad you had that time off. But of course, more magic continues. We are going to be unpacking Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this.
Today.
Take lashes higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara. The curved brush volumizes and lifts lashes vertically for a wide-eyed lash look. Hemp seed oil conditions for healthy-looking lashes. Go higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Grant is back, yes, as we continue the Sonic Mania here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are loving it, and right now we are taking a look at some of Grant's favorite Sonic games of all time, and I'm sure a couple of yours will be thrown in there as well. Welcome back, Eggman.
By the way, Eggman is a reference to Dr. Robotnik, who is the main villain of the series, but in Japan they call him Eggman. So you want to get nerdy, we're going to get nerdy here, you know what I'm saying?
Man, we're going to take it there. There are so many additions to the game, and there is a common thread, yes, but each has had its own kind of idiosyncrasies and little plus points. So take us through some of your faves.
Yeah, so one of my favorite parts about Sonic is that it's up and down. Whenever there's a Sonic game released, you never know if it's going to be good or exciting or interesting. And there have been some crazy ones. Over 31 years of celebrating Sonic. There have been a whole bunch of them. The first of the three that I like the most probably is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is Sonic and Knuckles. The actual name is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Which is a silly name for a game. And why I liked it.
Translation, yeah.
Why I liked it was that Knuckles included a whole another level of gameplay that I wasn't like familiar with. You know, you run and you jump and you like climb a wall.
Use your fist things to climb
use your fist to climb a wall and everything. So that was really exciting and really interesting. And also, fun fact, Michael Jackson wrote the soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
So we haven't had a remaster since that, since all these remasters are coming around because they couldn't get the rights to the music until recently. But the music is banging. Yeah, like, and like who would have thought that like Michael Jackson would have been behind that? So that's really cool. The second game is another game called Sonic Adventure. So it's a 3D platformer. So it also has the trappings of a 2D side scroller in some ways, or platformer where you jump around, like kind of like Crash Bandicoot, if you like.
Okay, cool.
But it's for its time, it was really beautifully rendered. You had like that's Metal Sonic, who was Sonic's like big villain, well, his arch nemesis, but other than Dr. Robotnik. So that was very, very cool.
I love it.
And then there was also a game called Sonic Unleashed.
Oh.
So Sonic Unleashed was a game that was pretty recent. When I say recent, Shane, I've been in this industry for a very long time. Quite a few years ago, where you played Sonic in a more like open worldish setup. It wasn't open world. There is a brand new open world Sonic game that's coming out soon.
Wow.
But it's kind of open worldish. But what was the trapping was that there was a world where you could play at night and you could play during the day. And Sonic at night would turn into a werewolf, and Sonic during the day would be more like your traditional Sonic. So that was very, very cool. And it gave you kind of like two games in one. And they tried something different. You know, the best Sonics, I feel, are the Sonics where they really attempt to kind of throw you off a little bit. We understand what Sonic the Hedgehog is. Sonic the Hedgehog is this really fast hedgehog that runs through like and shows off your system, you know, the power of what your system's capable of. But sometimes you want to, you know, explore that universe a little bit. They've painted this really cool cartoon universe for the whole family, and it's got 30 years of story behind it. So let's do something different. Let's try something new.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about you know, games like Sonic Unleashed, which are trying to do and attempting to use that.
And it all serves to the character development as well, because he is a character that we know and love, and he hasn't just appeared in the gaming world as well. Of course, he has made his way onto celluloid, so let's find out more.
Oh, this song is way too serious for the conversation we're about to have. JP Sebastian's in studio, and we are talking about the movie Sonic. Which
yes.
How long has it been on circuit? Because I feel like we've reviewed this before.
This is not an April Fool's, folks. This came out on the 1st of April in South Africa, so it's 14 weeks in South Africa right now. So what we're really just doing here is, since we're running with Sonic this morning, I'm getting you up to speed on Sonic's. I'm sorry, camera people are shaking their heads. They're so ashamed. Holding your breath for more bad puns. So just a bit on the performance and how people have been accepting this, because as Grant has been saying, like the fan love, the fan support, which also is pretty surprising for video game movies. We'll get a bit more into the reputation of those problems a bit later. But
well, how's the box office looking at the moment from a monetary?
Yeah, okay, those things. So in South Africa, it's 7th at the moment. Surprisingly, considering 14 weeks performance. All over the world is, I think, sitting about $400 million globally, which for video game movie, usually these really underperform because they don't fulfill expectations of the fans, the people who grew up on the thing. It doesn't match the way I wanted it to look. It doesn't move the way I wanted it to look. And so we did it hit the spot for you, because you grew up on Sonic.
I did. I loved it. Knuckles was my favorite.
And then the movies meet your expectations, possibly.
I haven't seen the movie yet. I need to.
Okay,
I like the trailers.
I'm sure you still got the reflexes. Glad for you that you can appreciate the trailers, because we want to get a bit into the look of things too at some point.
So I know that when they initially released the idea that, okay, this is the first trailer, this is the idea for our movie concept, everyone was upset because Sonic looked a bit funny.
I am going, that's put into very diplomatically. South Africa, I'm about to dig into old wounds. Now, obviously, the boy in blue got his green. He did very well there. He got all the numbers that he would have liked. But I want to pick at an old scab, an old scar, big blue one. Do you remember this at all, South Africa? Don't look away. Do not avert your eyes. For
see it on our screens right
hideousness
now.
That is, oh, well, okay, those are still the good ones, nevertheless.
That one.
Yes! No! They had to surprise us with this. Obviously, they were softening me up for the kill. So like you said, originally, the design for Sonic was whatever is going on here. It had way too human eyes. I made a surprise appearance, by the way, in Chip and Dale on Disney's movie. Oh, good grief. You don't want to see that. That's on some sort of register somewhere with the police. So fans were super unimpressed. The creator actually was not very impressed himself. Yuji Naka actually said he finds it very disturbing that he wasn't wearing gloves, and that was the least of his concerns. There's an interesting theory, however, that I wanted to dig into, which is the fact that it might have been a strategic move. He believed, the creator of Sonic, that it was strategically leaked to stir conversation, that it made fans feel like they were being more democratically involved in the creation of their own character, because then, and Grant's going to cover some of this ground too, but, you know, they made the fans feel like, wait, we were part of the creation process, because we eventually got the
original.
The very good fix compared to this thing that you're looking at here. I'm sorry if children are watching, I'm sorry if humans are watching, but that thing is hard to look at. Thankfully, of course, 2020, they turned the boat around. Director Jeffrey Fowler did the whole diplomatic, like almost Barack Obama type thing. We hear you, we see you, we feel your pain. And it took them a bunch of time to fix the thing, and eventually we got Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, however, is, as I said, still on circuit, so if you want to have a ganders at that, I think it's school holidays for you kids.
It is. They've got a nice 3-week holiday.
Yeah, I don't know what those are anymore, but yeah. It might be time for you to grab this. You probably only have 2 weeks left. Interestingly, as far as video game movies go, by the way, it's already, for a sequel, 5th highest earning video game adaptation in history.
Oh, wow.
Which is insane. 2 movies from 2022 are up there, actually. Number 4 is Uncharted with Spider-Man.
Okay. I thought Pokemon would make a...
Pokemon Detective Pikachu is number 2, actually, of all time. But Warcraft is number 1, if you got to know, and then number 3 was Rampage with The Rock. But this, Sonic was only one of 2 movies in the top 10 of all time to have a sequel included, the other being Resident Evil in 9th and 10th.
Okay.
But that's really impressive performance, and it must mean that people were pretty happy about the level of humor, the level of inclusion of like adult live actionness and whatever. I'll tell you what, speaking about live actionness and real life human beings, the other person that you love so much is Knuckles.
Yes.
You must have obviously realized that Idris Elba does a voice for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And so it wasn't all ugliness, since one of the most beautiful men in the world was given a part in this movie. So you can still catch it in South African cinemas today. Let's hear the man himself talk about what it was like capturing the voice and the creation of Knuckles, the Echidna, in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Was I familiar with Sonic? Of course. Sonic was one of my first gaming heroes.
In the second movie, we introduced Knuckles. He is the ultimate match for Sonic.
Sonic, meet Knuckles.
Knuckles is a warrior, and Idris is doing the voiceover.
I have been training for this my entire life.
Knuckles' sole purpose is to go after Sonic. He's from a very powerful, proud tribe.
It is my destiny to restore the ultimate power to the home of my people.
Knuckles has this menacing presence, you know. He means business.
Yeah, that's more where that came from.
Now let's begin our quest.
I love Knuckles. He's just like, straight to the point.
I always figured when they're going to do the voiceovers, the actors would be dressed more comfortably in gym clothes or pajamas.
It's just dad bod and, well, not Idris Elba, but like looking super like cozy. But just by the way, a bit about the future. Jim Carrey has announced that he's going to retire. So if they're looking for a bad guy, there's still ugly Sonic for number 3. Keep an eye out for that. However, on the big screen right now, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Go check it out.
Oh, there we go. If you're looking for something to do these holidays, definitely take the kids.
my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, what is new, you may ask yourself? Well, Woolies has a whole new range of taste bud blockbusters. Get this, instant mash pots, mindful treats, flavorful coffee, chuckles, tartlets, and indulgent treats. Well, our amazing Chef Clem is standing by to tell us more, and I almost feel like, tell us more, tell us. Oh, he's got a scissor.
This is the only kitchen utensil I'm gonna need for this.
Just to cut it all open.
Just to cut it all open. Okay, so I'm very excited. The thing about winter for me is it's all about like snacking and the amazing food you're gonna eat. So you'll like, it doesn't only happen every winter. It happens
I was
like,
gonna say, why are you saying winter?
All the time.
Every day.
But Woolies comes through with like the really, really epic winter snacks. So I'm gonna start on your side because...
Start here and then move over there because that side. Ooh.
This side. Because this is literally how we all start our day before we come into the show, when we get to the show, during the show, after the show, coffee. Okay? And Woolies have changed their packaging now, so you need to look out for this. This is what you need to be looking out for when you look for your beans, your grounds. That's where it starts. Okay, so absolutely love that. Also, the big size bag. We're a house of 2 people, and that's the standard bag that we buy of coffee.
And how long does it last you?
Not a month.
Not a month?
Not a month,
like
no.
the last week of the month, you're like, I have to go back for another fix.
Then you reuse the grounds. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Okay, so then, talking about healthy snacking and amazing lunch options, the mash pots are delicious. But like, just look at the variations. I mean, you got the lamb and vegetable meatballs. There's the one...
Basil pesto.
Yes, it's so delicious. The one with the South African feta, which is the chicken one over here. These make really, really amazing lunches because you've got the protein in there, you've got that like creamy mash element, and it's not mash, it's just potato. They're using things like carrots and other vegetables to like create a bit of like dimension in the flavors. It's really good. Okay.
Wait, before we go on, can I also say this is also very homey. Like when you taste it, you always think like with these meal packaging, it's not going to taste good, it's bland. It's so flavorful. I almost feel like I want to pack this into Lucas' lunch so that I can get like Mom of the Year award. Because I'm like, there you go.
Because you'd feel really great.
Yeah.
I mean, the veggies are in there, everything's in there. If you think about like lunchtime options, okay, normally it's like a toebroodjie. Done. That's what you're getting if you didn't pack lunch. You just go downstairs to the deli, grab a sandwich. You can actually have a proper meal now, which is game changer.
Now I feel like I need to call my mom and be like, change it to broodjie in Lucas sandwich, like in Lucas' lunchbox today, because that's what I did. Okay, there we go. Now you can move on.
There we go. So the cocoa-coated snacks. Okay, they've got the cranberry, they've got the sunflower seeds, they've got the almonds. These are, okay, especially if you're trying to be like healthier this winter, but you love your chocolate to like, it'll break you, that's it. And it's actually, for me, it gives me a bit of like, cocoa satisfaction than like having chocolate. And it's like sesame seeds, almonds, cranberries. That's where it's at. They are, okay, pick. You can pick. Okay.
I will go probably with the almonds. Almonds is great for
okay, pick your mash pot.
No, you can't tell me to do that.
Okay, you look so long while I keep on going to the...
I don't even want to look on this side because there's so many things that's like catching my eye. Where do you want to start with this one?
Okay, let's start off with what we've been looking at the whole time. We've got the chuckles, ice cream. Now, I've said this before, right? Ice cream in winter is an absolute thing. And you'll see that, like, the ones that know, and they'll bring out amazing ice creams during winter because there's such a following for ice cream in winter. We've got the Chuckles mini cones.
Stop right there. When I saw this first online, I was like, no, there's no way that they're making a Chuckles, like, ice cream stick. And then I tasted it. It is probably the best thing I've tasted in my life. Like,
it is so good.
It is so good. Whatever you do right now, get yourself the Chuckles. I haven't tried this one, which is your fighter.
Yeah, it's the strawberry one. Okay, there you go. And then I'm gonna go for... So you've got the actual cone. I'm gonna go for the Chuckles mini ice cream, okay? Because we are so chill doing this. We're just gonna eat ice cream while we're busy doing this. Okay, so these are amazing. These are delicious. Love them. Perfect. Okay, this is an ad. Then let's go to the mini cookies, the hazelnut ones and the lemon ones. The size of them is perfect, okay? It means you should be able to have 10 in one sitting, right? So, got so many Chuckles in the background. 10. Okay, these are delicious, especially if you're having tea and coffee every hour. You need something to have with it, okay? And this is what it is. So you got the hazelnut, you got the lemon, they're both really delicious. Then let's go to the mini mint tartlets. Peppermint tart in like the fanciest form ever. These are so delicious. A little hack. I'll pop it in the microwave for like 10 seconds just to soften everything inside there. It is amazing. Then you got like the indulgent chocolate and nut treats. These are the macadamia one. Ridiculous. So everybody's saying we should hurry up and we can't actually talk anymore because we're running out of time. So unfortunately, Jamie, you can't taste anything anymore.
No, but I do want to tell you, Mzansi, go over to wits.co.za. You can get your hands on all these new products. It is amazing. Huli should just take all of our money at this point.
Just take it.
Like,
okay, pick your part, take your treat.
No, wait, I'm
everything. I want this. G doesn't like sweet things.
Wait.
Zoe doesn't like sweet things.
Can we have a moment? What is this?
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. It is so crazy. And I'm so sorry to the other presenters that don't want any of these things. We're just going to have it all.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Go to wits.co.za today. That's it. That's all we have to say to you. I'm taking all of this. Actually, no, give me that one.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for dialing it in as we continue on our tech front. And of course, having a lot of fun this morning. We can't get enough of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a brand thing that's been thriving for around 31 years now, so it's proven how successful it is, capturing the hearts of both young and old. But just how much do you know about the blue hedgehog? Well, here to give us some little-known facts is Grant Hines, and we touched on one of the first of them, the redesign for Sonic the Hedgehog, the live-action movie. Because this had the world in kind of it shook to the core.
Look, so JP spoke about it, and it's one of those things that, like, if you are a gaming fan and you love games and you've grown up with them, you're passionate about them. You spend
There's an expectation.
hundreds of hours in these things, and as soon as the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog came out, he looked identical to, like, he's got, like, these humanoid eyes that made him look way too human for Sonic the Hedgehog. He was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So, obviously, and that was when the 2019 film came out, so people were just like, were spun around. But the cool thing was, and actually probably the best takeaway, is that when fans get together to make something happen, something happens.
They listened, yeah.
They listened and they redid the movie. And JP's been going through the numbers and showing you that, you know, it's still number 7 on the box office at the moment.
It's bankable. The first movie made $306.8 million.
Right?
Wow.
So it was worth it. Like, it was worth it for them to go back, redesign that character for the fans, because the fans cared about the film and wanted to go pitch up and see it. So
he's got the look. How did we arrive at the name? What is Sonic's real name?
Oh, what? Okay, funny story that. Okay, so this is great. So there was an Archie Comics episode, issue, where they gave him the name Ogilvy Morris Hedgehog. And although that's not considered canon in the Sega universe, I really love it. Imagine Sonic the Hedgehog called Ogilvy Morris Hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
And they've still, so that's his official name. We're going to, between the whole of South Africa, that's what we're calling him, Ogilvy, which is a strange name. But anyway, so, and it's now in a lot of the others, like peripheral canon, because it's such a weird, obscure thing. The next thing is that Sega, like the reason that Sonic is blue, a lot of people want to know. Like,
cool.
you'd think it'd be lightning. So, well, when they created Sonic, they wanted him to fit the Sega brand. So he's literally blue like the Sega logo. So when you saw Sonic the Hedgehog, you thought of Sega.
You immediately made that connection.
So it wasn't just like a, look, there he is. It wasn't just like one of those choices. It's just, that's how that came about.
Like most things in life, there was a commercial reason.
Yeah, commercial reason, yeah. And then the last thing was one of the most obscure facts that we dug up into this episode was that the director for the game, the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, his name is Naoto, he just made Sonic's character based on Bill Clinton.
What? I've always thought that.
What?
That Sonic reminds me just of Bill. I've got that.
Like, well, I mean, like,
where
how
did that
weird?
come from? Yeah.
He said, like, Bill Clinton's got a get-it-done attitude, and he wanted Sonic to have a get-it-done attitude, which is... It's just so, like, obscure. Like, I did not go like, yo, Bill, you know, your comic book, you know, persona is Sonic the Hedgehog. I feel like I'm a closer Sonic the Hedgehog than Bill Clinton is. Because
you're a get-it-done
And I mean, if you watch the movies, he's not a get-it-done person. He runs around and causes absolute mayhem.
It's just because he can do it so fast that he does ultimately get it done faster than many others.
And then the funny thing is that they based a lot of the the audience based Eggman or Dr. Robotnik's personality based on Theodore Roosevelt, which is also like a what was his personality like? How do we come
just
to that?
Because he had pajamas on. I absolutely love it, but I guarantee you didn't know some of those facts, and we're going to continue celebrating this little blue hedgehog who has such a big part of our heart. It's Sonic the Hedgehog Day, officially. No, it's unofficially here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, the time now is 1 minute after 8 o'clock. Time to have a final look at those news headlines. Starting on the local front, the special tribunal has ruled that a 103 million rand Gauteng Health Department personal protective equipment PPE tender that was awarded to Sakeni Strategic Supplies is unlawful and invalid. The Special Investigating Unit, the SIU, successfully applied to the tribunal to have the tender set aside following investigations into how it was awarded. In her judgment, Tribunal President Judge Lebogang Modiba ordered the company to pay back any profits derived from the tender. Then a mass funeral service will be held on Wednesday for the 21 young people who died in an Eastern Cape tavern on Sunday morning. The provincial government has announced that thereafter the families would be assisted with transportation of the remains to be interred at burial sites of their choice. Now, the government yesterday thanked those who had promised support in preparation for the funeral. The 21 young patrons died under mysterious circumstances in the Enyobeni Tavern in Scenery Park, East London, in the early hours of Sunday morning. Then looking to news on the international front, the brightly painted wooden houseboats dotted along the River Nile, an iconic part of Cairo's rich cultural heritage, are set to be destroyed or removed by Egyptian authorities as part of what they describe as an effort to beautify the waterfront. Some of the floating houses, permanently moored on the riverbank, are inhabited by poor residents, while others have been expensively restored. The oldest ones date back to the time of the pharaohs. Now, no compensation is being given to people losing their houses. Then some of the largest US retailers are rationing emergency contraception because of surging demand in the wake of the Supreme Court's abortion ruling. Demand for both emergency contraceptives and abortion pills, which require a prescription, have soared in recent days following the US Supreme Court's repeal of Roe versus Wade, overturning the constitutional right to abortion. Abortion has been banned in at least 7 states following Friday's landmark Supreme Court decision, and some 16 additional states are expected to follow suit in the coming weeks. Then, what are the chances of one spotting a two-headed snake? Well, a rare one was recently rescued in KZN. Now, this is certainly something one doesn't get to see every day. However, KwaZulu-Natal-based snake rescuer Nick Evans rescued a two-headed snake in Indedwe in KZN. Now, he said it's a southern brown egg-eater, which is a common and harmless, but a two-headed one is very rare and a deformity. The snake was spotted by a man in his yard, and and Evan said, and I quote, "I'm sure he was just as surprised as I was. He put it in a bottle and asked me to take it away. Having never seen a two-headed snake, I jumped at the opportunity." Now, the snake rescuer said it was juvenile, around 30 centimeters in length, and it was interesting to see how it moved. Sometimes the heads would try to go in opposite directions from each other, and then again it would rest one head on the other. The snake is presently in professional care, Evans said, and we are happy to hear that. That being said, that is where I leave your news headlines. It's time to have a final look at what is happening on the roads here, Zoe.
Thank you, Jamie. And we start off with traffic in Gauteng, in Parktown on the M1 southbound. Now, at that off-ramp, there's a power line lying across the Empire Road East, and delays can be expected, so please approach the area with caution and please avoid the area if at all possible. And staying in Gauteng, this is at Bardeen. There's a vehicle broken down. In fact, it's a truck on the N12 westbound. It's after Atlas Road and it's obstructing that left lane. Please be careful when you approach. And then moving to KZN in Durban on the N2 northbound, a truck has lost its load and the left lane is currently blocked. It's also caused a massive backlog and traffic is on a standstill. Please use an alternative route this morning and add some extra travel time to your commute. And that's where we leave your traffic this morning. And here's a final look at your weather and weather news. A heat wave with persistent high temperatures is expected in the Richtersveld municipality in the Northern Cape until tomorrow. The SA Weather Service has issued a watch for extremely high fire danger conditions over the Kamiesberg municipality in the Northern Cape and the Matsikama and Berg River municipalities in the Western Cape for today. Conditions are such that the FDI index is above 75. Under these conditions, fires may develop and spread rapidly, resulting in damage to property and possible loss of human and or animal life. And that is according to the weather services. Now, it's said that when temperatures are extremely high, humans' ability to cool their bodies through perspiring is reduced, and this can be a real threat, leading to hypothermia. And if a heat wave occurs during a drought, which dries out vegetation, it can contribute to felt fires, according to the weather services. Now, from your weather news to your sunrise views, let's take a final look at those gorgeous sunrise photos that came through. Rena out in East London shared this beautiful photo of the sun peeking through the clouds, causing a red and orange glow. Another one of our regulars, Carol out in Amanzim Toti, shared this beautiful one of the sun rising from behind the ocean. Andrew Harris sent us this photo of the sun blazing through the trees in Belito. And finally, we have one from Nikki, who is showcasing a beautiful sunrise that was captured at 8 a.m. above the Durban Blue Lagoon. Thank you for those beautiful sunrise photos. If you have more to share with us, please do so on the Expresso WhatsApp line. That number is 063 408 8863. Let's take a final look at your temperatures for today. A sunny day in Polokwane. Your temperatures range between 2 and 18. Mbombela 5 and 20. Pretoria 5 and 18. It's sunny in Johannesburg with temperatures ranging between 3 and 17. Mahikeng 2 and 19. And Klerksdorp a cool start of -1 and a high of 19. It's sunny in Kimberley today. Your temperatures range between 3 and 18. Bloemfontein -3, 19. Richards Bay 8 with a high of 24. A sunny day in Pietermaritzburg, 5's your low, 24 your high. Durban 12 with a high of 23. If you're in Mthatha, a sunny day ahead with temperatures ranging between 4 and 23. East London 11, 23. Cradock 0 and 20. And Gqeberha, your low for today is 9, your high 23. A sunny day for George, 12's your low, 23 your high. Staying in the Western Cape, 17's your low for Cape Town and 24 your high. Worcester, your temperatures range between 11 and 24. Sutherland 6 and 15. And Uppington, expect a low of 8 and a high of 22 degrees Celsius for your weather today. And that's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Of course, we're about to come to grips with a beautiful, I suppose, an opportunity to reconnect with our favorite little blue character, but you guys have been reconnecting with us and the nostalgia attached with this brand. And we've got, I think Colleen sent us through this voice note. Let's find out how her relationship with the little blue creature plays out.
Good morning, Expresso, Colleen here. That would be Popeye and Mario Brothers. That was my favorite TV game, Popeye and Mario Brothers.
Yes, Popeye,
I think a lot of people
I do
echo that,
not
judging by
understand
the
what's going
shaking
on in
heads.
Donkey Kong.
Oh, an OG. I'm down for that. I'm down for Donkey Kong and OG. Let's see here from Shaheen what her favorite video games from the yonder years used to be.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne from Chatsworth. My favorite childhood game was Super Mario.
Nice. Boom. Full stop.
That's it.
Straight up.
Super Mario. That was probably what got me into it, yeah.
What do you think Linda's going to say? Because Linda also sent through a WhatsApp voice. So do you think she's also going to go with Super Mario Brothers?
Probably.
Let's hear.
My favorite TV game was Super Mario. My brothers and I used to fight for turns.
I love that.
OG. We have another one that also came through. Let's take a listen.
Good morning, my name is Rowena Adams. I'm from Malmesbury. My favorite TV game as a kid was Mario Bros.
Ooh, Mario Bros. When a person says a TV game, then you know, then it's the OGs. It's going to be one of a few titles. Thank you so much. I think very much in the same vein here. This was one of my favorites, I think, from back in the day. I loved Super Mario Brothers like everyone else did. Are we going to have a little go?
Okay, so here, this is what we're going to do. Back in the day, we used to have a TV show. You guys are too young to remember this. It was called The Grab a Game Show, where we have a host where somebody would call in and play. I'm going to do this the other way around. Graham, I'm going to give you the control.
Okay.
Don't press continue just yet. Okay. I don't want you to look at the screen. I want you to look intently into camera 2.
Okay.
And then I want... look, I want you to go and make sure that you go forward, forward, forward. Give him verbal instructions. You are only allowed to look at the screen.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
You are my
So when
eye.
Jamie looks at the screen, she can go forward, 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 jump, and then you encourage him to jump. And we're going to see how many coins we can get in a time period. Hopefully we get to do this. Okay.
Okay, press continue. So you're going to start it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1,
and
go.
Go forward, go forward, go forward. No, jump. Why are you jumping before the jump?
Oh!
Okay, walk
Sorry,
forward.
we'll try again. We'll try again.
Here we go.
Come, Jamie, come.
Run. Jump. Oh,
no, come on, you can't be overwhelmed.
Keep going. You have to run very fast, my friend.
Okay.
Like super, like turbo.
How do I turn into a ball?
That was just
There we go, perfect. Jump. Here, woo.
Well done.
Wait. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Go.
Jump. Okay, forward, jump. Forward, jump.
Jump.
Forward. Grab, forward, jump. Oh, yes. Okay,
Come on,
Come, Jamie, you gotta be decisive. Forward, grab, jump. Forward.
You are like stuck
Press
in the
down.
whole thing. Go down.
Hold on, and tap jump. Hold on and tap jump. No,
No, you go forward.
Go forward.
No,
Go back.
Go back. Okay, stop. Now run forward. Just
Go.
No, Graham. Run. Yes, well done.
Yay.
We're 1 minute 10.
Come on.
See what we can get by 1 minute. 1 minute 20. We've got 5 seconds left.
Go.
We have 300 points.
3,
2.
Come on,
And you finished the level. That was amazing.
I wonder if the picture in my head was better than what was actually being
Do you
seen
remember
on
it?
screen.
I never
But
wanna
you
do this
you
ever
remember it.
again.
I was thinking like go spinny ball. Beautiful. You were terrible.
I
You
never
were
want to do this
absolutely
ever
terrible.
again. We can play another game though after the show. We'll see you after this. Don't go anywhere. Wait,
Let's try.
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Time to connect with our performer this morning. Well known for his bluesy and lyrically rich tunes, he is guaranteed to keep you captivated. In fact, just his sound checks this morning have had us enthralled. His music is filled with raw, poetic and deeply soulful storytelling. And today we are joined by singer-songwriter Pat McKay, and he'll be taking us through some of that musical journey and how he is feeling about his latest SAMA nomination. But here is a sneak peek of a song of his latest album, Where the Light Gets In. Take a listen.
The cage, they're scared I'm getting out. You should be scared, scared I'm getting out. You should be scared, scared I'm getting out. Yeah. There's a crack where the light gets in, yeah. And I snap, cause the pain was tender. Had my back since the age of 10, yeah. And it's sad to watch your friends.
And yes, the most fun music video in the world ever to shoot. It is by Pat McKay. A feel-good, warm welcome to our artist this morning. Are you applauding yourself? Are you applauding your SAMA nomination? Are you applauding that awesome video?
Yeah.
All of it, man. Pat, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Great to be here. Awesome. Excited.
We've loved the sound check so far. That always just kind of, I wish you could just play throughout the entire show, man. You're obviously in a very good space at the moment. And you've had this incredible musical journey, and you've managed to, within that, and I would say despite immense commercial pressures, you've stayed true to your musical vision. What was that vision? Was there a vision when you got into music? What drew you down this path?
People actually laugh when I say this. Michael Jackson.
You're not the first, bud. You're not the first, yeah.
I mean, he's probably the best performer, one of the best performers ever walked the planet. But when I was a kid, I had two nicknames. One was assigned to me by my dad. He called me Beach Bum, which is still very true.
Still relevant, yeah.
Yeah, and the other I assigned to myself, which was Michael Jackson. People used to ask me who I was and be like, I'm Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
So I think I was just moved by that. And then I guess the question is it nature or nurture? And I think just songwriting comes so naturally to me. So I think there's a part of nature there.
Is it storytelling? Because that's the feel we get, the connection we get taken along this particular narrative. Does it feel like that to you? Is it processing emotion? What is that creative process?
It's definitely a place where I can process stuff. If you speak to some of the major songwriters in the world, they'll say, never vent, never whine, never be over 40, always be the hero. And it's like, I didn't tick any of those boxes. But yeah, there's something about when you speak from a place of what's going on for you, kind of the shadow stuff in life that people resonate with, and they go, you know, okay, that's similar to comedians, right? Comedians, we laugh because they work with the shadow. They're like, oh, that's true, you know? Wow, that's funny, because they have an ability to go there and bring that out so that we can see it.
And for sure, and it makes it accessible, and these are emotions, and especially now, I think the globe has shared an experience over the last couple of years. And of course, you get the validation in the fact that commercially, yes, it is successful, and that must be a beautiful feeling when you pour your heart out, and they love you for it.
Yeah.
Climbing the charts, when we look at Where the Light Gets In, as I understand it, at its heart, about liberation, what was the inspiration there, and how does it feel seeing the public embrace the work like this?
Yeah, it's actually a lot of these songs from the album are lockdown creations. That's where they started, and then so that was a bit of the pre-production process. And yeah, I think it's just been a journey of a past, which is kind of quite a hedonistic past, into quite a fundamentalist worldview, into more of a sort of a space of understanding unconditional love and understanding, you know, so I was grappling with that, and then there's a level of freedom that comes from kind of breaking out of certain structures. And and feeling free, thinking I was free, but I wasn't free, and then moving into a place of further freedom and being able to put that grapple in the songs. One of my lyrics says, what I thought was apart is still together, meaning that I've never been separate from existence. We've always been free. It's just about understanding and remembering as opposed to trying to add something to this process.
Look at it through a different lens, but you are helping us do. And buddy, as I understand it, it's a special day for you personally. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
And we can't let an opportunity like this pass us by when we've got so many amazing foodies and chefs in the house. So can we get another round of applause and a giant happy birthday for Pat McKay. This is Lush, who you've obviously met behind the scenes. Here's our birthday fairy today.
Wow.
Happy birthday, my brother.
Yeah.
Because you're now part of our family, my friend. So thank you so much for bringing your considerable talent and your voice and the emotion here. We cannot wait to see you perform. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much. I can't blow these candles. They're not candles.
Yeah, sparklers. I was going to say, when last did you get a sparkler for your birthday?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while. We can't help being over 40, but we can make it feel a little bit better. Speaking from my own perspective, Pat is not going anywhere. Some deep, soulful music is headed your way. It's going to turn the direction of your day completely around. But now, let's get back in the kitchen.
Oh, well, listen, we are in the kitchen. If you're thinking, oh, what can I make for lunch or dinner, then stay tuned, because this next recipe is a quick fix.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, well, listen, whether it's lunch or an easy dinner, nothing beats a classic pizza. But if low carb is the name of your game, you will love our next recipe. We are about to show you how to make sheet pan veggie pizza. And it also features all the classic flavors of the original, but we are guaranteed that you are gonna love this, and all pizza lovers will also love this. And that's why we have Chef Tumi here to show us how to make sheet pizza.
Yes, so my friend, imagine you get a pizza, you've had this craving, and you say to yourself, I want some really good pizza. And the pizza comes in front of you and all you see is crust but no filling. No topping.
Yeah, I would be upset.
I mean, so how's about we take the crust out completely and we just give you filling on filling.
Just the toppings.
Just the toppings. Ooh. Just the toppings, nothing else. I feel like that for me is more than enough pizza for anyone.
I've seen kids eat like that. They just eat all the toppings and then they leave the base.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to say, avoid those mistakes. Just give them a whole tray full of the fillings, the toppings, and that's what we're about to do. And it starts off with the humble veg, you know, whatever mixed veg filling or rather you might have in the freezer, whatever you might have, just defrost those babies, bake it up, and you have this as the actual base.
And so often you cook roasted veggies for lunch or dinner and then you have leftovers.
Correct.
So this is a great thing to also do with some leftover veg.
Exactly, and the other thing is a lot of people right now are doing this low carb this, low carb that. So people are trying to minimize their carb intake, and this is the great the option that you can use for that. So you top up on the fillings, the toppings. In this instance, we're using veg, but let's just say you wanted to add some of your flavors, like you like your pepperoni or your bacon. You're more than welcome to do that as well. But in this instance, we're keeping it very veg, and that's why we're doing like this now. Just our veggies. We've got some butternut in there. We've got some red onion. We've got some zucchini. So whatever veg you might have. Like you said, I like the option you mentioned, leftover veggies you might have in the house. Just throw it all in there.
Add it there. So the veg acts as your base, and if you were gonna like spice it up, adding your protein to it, this is also the time to then add those bits of meat.
All right, so now obviously any pizza base has a tomato sauce. In this instance, if you don't have tomato sauce, I also do advise you can use any just normal sauce in your house that you might have. Some people like their pizzas with the white sauce. So let's just say you had some leftover bechamel. You could also use that. But in this instance, we're gonna have some of our Clover Classic mayo added there for that zinginess, to bring all these flavors in here. You've got your sweetness coming from your butternut. You've got your earthiness coming from the rosemary we put in there. So we're topping it up with our Clover Classic.
So which one are we using? We're using the #1 tangy mayonnaise mildness. Mildness #1. And the Clover Classic mayonnaise has a range of tangy mayonnaises that comes in 3 different levels of tanginess. There's mild, which we are using, medium and strong. And you can also use any of it that suits your taste and preferences. It really is versatile to use, and it enhances the flavors, bringing you tasty, mouth-watering food with every single bite. And I love that you mixed it in there.
So imagine now, people are probably wondering, Dumi, you're just basically talking to us about a veg bake. How is this an actual pizza? How do we bring it together so that you're able to still get
more topping,
slices when you cut into it? This is where the cheese comes in, because it's going to melt up in the oven as it cooks, and then basically hold everything together so that it's easier for you to cut through. As you can see, our sheet pan over there, we baked it up. Make sure you get nice and golden brown, and then once we've done that, we add more of our toppings here. We've got some.
Do you break the onion? It's best to maybe break the onion.
It is best because it can be
get a chunk of onion.
It can be overpowering, and even though we're using the red onion, which is slightly milder, it can still be a little bit overpowering. So just a little bit goes a long way. And if you wanted to add more of your spices, like some people want to add more oregano right now, this is where you'd add that as well.
Oh,
this little baby goes into the oven to bake until the cheese is nicely melted. Top her up with some basil. And there's your...
And you are ready to go. How amazing is this? I love that this is a different carb-free take on pizza. It is our classic mayo sheet pan veggie pizza. If you want to get your hands on this recipe, it is available on our website, expressoshow.com. Just look at that deliciousness. Chef Tumi, thank you for joining us. And if you perhaps missed any of the steps to this delicious recipe, here's a quick recap for you.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
I said
Take lashes higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara. The curved brush volumizes and lifts lashes vertically for a wide-eyed lash look. Hemp seed oil conditions for healthy-looking lashes. Go higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to talk fashion for this Thursday. Now, we all know a casual look can still be stylish. Golfers are timeless, it's versatile, and essential items in every summer and winter wardrobe. Now, our favorite, our fashion and beauty editor, Ms. Noxamafu, is here to show us how to style this wear-anywhere staple. And you girl, you are giving it a look. How are you?
I'm good. I've missed you.
I know, we've missed you.
Great.
Thank you. You look great.
Thank you.
The other day on Tuesday, actually, for Tuesday, Mzansi helped me pick out a golfer, and I was first a bit skeptical because I didn't know how to pair it.
Yeah.
But here you come through with a little dress.
Exactly.
And it is such a timeless piece to add to your collection. Why do you think it is so trendy?
I think we really underestimate how much sport luxe has really kind of taken over fashion. So if we think about very recently when we were stuck in our homes, things like tennis and like golf were really kind of keeping us afloat, you know, in a way that you can kind of step out of the house. And I really think the fashion staples from there have kind of gone into mainstream fashion, which is really nice. So it's about comfort, it's about versatility, but also there's really something chic about it, you know what I mean? It feels like you go to the country club or anything, you know. And the joy about something like this is that you really can wear it in a more casual way. So if you were to go for a dress kind of silhouette, which you pair with sneakers or with heels, the way I've done, but they kind of, you can go with a casual golfer, golfer, more sophisticated golfer, and it really comes down to the styling.
And I'm loving seeing the ways we can style it, because often you just see a golf and you think, oh my word, it's going to be too much. But here it is, you're playing around with different textures, different styles. And I love what you did with the look on, with the heels, adding that aesthetic to it as well. In terms of what you have on our range, take us through it.
Absolutely. So like I said, we've got a nice play between, you know, the dresses, which I think are going to be a huge hit. And this is because really the colors are really great. There's that pop of color, which will look great against any skin tone. But the real comfort of it, pair this with some sneakers, which we've got over here, or maybe some like court shoes, and you've really got a different look on it. But it's always down to the layering, right? And then, of course, we've got these incredible golfers, which come in a range of colors. They're made with sustainably sourced cottons, which is always such a win. And here, what you can do is really go for, like, for instance, if you go for a more denim look, right? So imagine you have your golfer in here, or you have it underneath this thing. So that layering is coming in again. That collar also becomes a really nice detail to focus on, which I think the colors make it so nice. You can buy like more than one and know that like you've got multiple looks. Exactly.
Over and over.
Exactly. And then if you go for a more sophisticated look, maybe you're going out to a more I don't know, serious event, you can then play with more like the pants or like these short chinos. I think chinos and golfers are a great pair across men and females fashion. So that's something you could look into. But of course, the classic, the baddie of all, the denim, which the denim is always great. You can either tuck this in, you could have it over, no matter what the cut of the denim is, alongside this golfer and the colors that it comes in, it's that statement piece that you didn't know you needed.
There's also something about the golfer that gives me rich auntie vibes. It's like it's serving, she's coming, she's like wherever you're going.
It's that understated look, right? It's like there's that statement print that you can have maybe with the stripes, or it's just that pop of color, but then that blue accent there. It's really like chic and understated, and that's what I love about it.
And sometimes I see like, you know, people wear like a jersey
Cardigan,
over or cardigan over
the shoulders. Yes, absolutely.
However, I have been seeing the models walking around looking fabulous. Should we bring them in?
Let's do it, let's do it.
Come on. And, okay, so this is definitely I call this the influencer look, when you have the jacket not on, but it is on. But yes,
absolutely.
Not bad.
And that's the joy of something like this. So we've got a beautiful golfer dress, like I said, in the more striped look, which is quite iconic. And then you add a nice denim jacket there. This could have been a leather jacket. This could even be the cardigan that you were speaking about, where we have it over the shoulder. It's the versatility of something like this that really speaks to me. Pair that with some great casual shoes, and you've got a look where you can go run your errands, you could go meet someone for a drink, but you're easy, you know what I mean? And that all is like, the one piece is like the staple, but we could have done so many things with that jacket. Exactly.
I like this, very casual, still giving a sophisticated look. Not mad at this at all.
Great, great way. She looks amazing. Then we go for a more sophisticated look, which I really, really love. These are the same principles, a striped kind of golfer tee, which is more dressed up for sophistication. So we've got the chinos now, which is a really nice tailored fit. We've got that collar coming in just as a nice accent there, right? But not over the jacket. And then we pair that with some great shoes and a blazer. And now she's ready to take on a meeting.
Honestly, I was going to say, this is serving boss, honey,
exactly.
CEO. I see it for you. I'm manifesting this just based off your look.
Exactly. And this is the one staple that's really been, like, you know, seed in different abilities. And this is why I love the golfer. It's funny how, like, a sports kind of look has now moved into, like, mainstream. And we can see how it can go from a serious and a more casual look. And it looks absolutely brilliant.
But honestly, it's you. Because without you, we wouldn't have been able to see this vision. So thank you. We miss you. Please don't stay away from us for long.
I'll be back tomorrow.
She's back tomorrow, everybody. But of course, you can style them up or you can style them down with a pair of jeans or a sophisticated trouser. But as always, you can shop the golfers at Woolies, and this is available in store, online, or on the app. And after the break, we are going to give you a golf fitness session, a try. So stick around for that.
Now, the emotional undercurrent from today's show is about to become a torrent. Pat McKay is here to give us his brand of an incredible musical journey. That's the only way I can describe it. And he is going to bring us the first of his 3 performances this morning. This is a rendition of 6 String of Love. Enjoy.
Sir, what you holding there? And he said, son, it's a six-string of love. And I said, please tell me why. He said, son, it's got supernatural vibes. And I said, well, can I try? He looked me dead in the eyes. And he said, son, one day you'll fly. Just make sure you don't limit yourself to the sky. Son, what you holding there? And I said, sir, it's a six-string of love. Son, what you holding there? And I said, sir, it's the true light from above. I said, sir, it's the true light from above. And amazing and crazy, this new way of seeing, and amazing and crazy, this new way of being, from making an album to turning around now, from taking this loud mouth, perfect the sounds out, and wrote a sonnet, they got it and bought a charnet. You call this 'cause he is flawless, stopping the drawless in the morning on it. Back for days, it's Patrick McKay, no accolades, it's psalmists and dramas, and Jonah Lomas and llamas, and Gregs and Dharmas and bombings, and people, pardons and gardens, red robots hard in the heart in you, 'cause know they are part of you. What we all gonna do to try start something new? So daddy to do, do. Tell me, sir, what's your name? Tell me, man, what's your name? Son, what you holding there? And I said, sir, it's a six-string of love. Son, what you holding there? And I said, sir, it's the true light from above. And I said, sir, it's the true light from above. Leaving town when Hamana sees no crowds, and I'm on my own in my house, presents all around. Feet slip on the sand, heading east with a vision of plan, and a voice note in my hand, east with a vision of plan. Breathe air in my lungs, and I make it into songs. I breathe and try to hold it. This word, I make it golden, and this guitar separates me from both thugs and a crazy flow. And shoot, dabby-dabby-doo. And I got brain freeze from cold seas and dark diving. Let's share this. Waves please at Cape Seas and no fighting. Son, what you holding there? And I said, sir, it's a six-string of love. Son, what you holding there? And I said, sir, it's the true light from above. And I said, sir, it's the true light from above. Thank you.
little sunshine. Everflu C Immune Booster Plus, now with vitamin D. Brought to you by Pharmadynamics.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. From golfing fashion to golfing fitness, golf is ballistic, involving sudden moments of exertion. It's also one-sided. Players swing 75 to 100 times from one side of the body, which can often create muscle imbalances and overuse injuries. Oftentimes, the key to a better game on the links is a better off-the-course training program that creates the flexibility and also mobility to execute a proper swing. Now, here to take us through some of those exercises is golf professional Etienne Olivier, and you are dressing the part, so that I thought, you know what, let me come through and maybe look the part. I've never played in my life, so take it easy on me, okay?
No, well, I think you said it so right. You know, we work with golfers on a daily basis on an instructional point of view, and what we've come across is, you know, like these guys just aren't able to move properly, and like you said, you know, guys need to do some stuff off the course to get better, because your body is certainly your hardware when you move. So I think what we're going to do today is just do a little basic exercise with you just to get your thoracic spine moving a little bit better. You've just mentioned there, like, what a great force we put through. So we find the more mobile golfers can be, the easier the movements get. So when we play golf, we make a rotation on our backswing and we make a rotation on our forward swing, and your thoracic spine needs to go through quite a great movement. So I don't know if you mind.
No, not at all.
We can get down and dirty on the mat here.
And it is so incredible to see you take that swing. I definitely think after the session I will be ready to go onto the golf course. But where do we start with this?
So let's just do a really basic one just to get that thoracic spine moving. So we're going to just get on all fours.
Okay.
And then, just get your hands right underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to take our right hand and we're going to take it up above us, and we're going to just follow with our eyes as we go up. So you're going to feel a nice stretch for the thoracic spine there. So that's your backswing, okay? So you're going up through the back there, rotating and holding a little bit. And then we're going to just go back down. And then we're going to go do your forward swing there. So your left hand goes up and you just follow up. So I don't know if you can feel that stretch there for the thoracic spine.
It is a nice stretch, actually.
Not just good for golf, but this is definitely something we use in the golf swing. And back down. Okay, and let's go back up with our right arm again.
And how often should you be incorporating these exercises if you are training, if you are a professional like yourself?
So, I mean, I'm just picking one exercise here. What we generally do is we screen the whole body. So we'll look at the golfer's functionality, and then depending on what you struggle with, you might need to do a little bit more. We call them teeth brush exercises. So people that struggle with thoracic spine mobility, this would be one of the things they've got to do daily.
Okay.
But stretching or mobility doesn't really help if you don't do it daily. And I know some of these things might seem boring.
But you have to do it?
But it will if you want to take it serious, it'll definitely help.
Okay, so we go onto the left side again, and then nice and controlled all the way back down.
We do one more on the right and one more on the left.
You know why I think I'll take up golf? Only because you didn't start this workout off with a burpee. Anytime someone says burpee, I'm like, I actually don't think I want to do that.
I was very tempted because you did tell me beforehand. Go up, one more on the left. Okay, now, I actually want us to jump up, and even though you're not a golfer, I just want you to feel this quickly. So I'm going to place this club on your shoulders here, and just cross across it, so you just hold it down. And we're going to get you into a bit of a golf posture, so you're going to feel that same position. So just bend a little bit, yeah, there we go. Now we're going to rotate back, so that's that sort of stretch we did up with your right hand going up. Can you feel that? And then we're going to follow through. Like you said, there's quite a great force now going towards the area you're playing, so we're going to follow through the other way. But because we've loosened up the thoracic there, you should feel nice free range of, can you feel that?
And understand now why mobility and flexibility will definitely assist 100%. With moving the body on the golf course.
100%. How does that feel? You want to do one more of those?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you try on your own quickly? So you go back this way. So that's your backswing, and then your forward swing there. That's pretty good, eh? Well done.
Okay. Do you think I can be your partner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some progression from putt-putt, yeah.
Okay, so I actually told Etienne, I actually started off on the putt-putt course, and so now he's actually joking with me. But I'm going there. We're taking up step by step. Step by step. What else can we incorporate into our exercise, daily movements?
Okay, so that was one mobility one. We're not going to do a burpee, but we are going to get down again. So now let's do a stability thing. So there's a saying with golf fitness, you know, your core is your king and your glutes is the queen. So king and queen. So we want to try and get those two things really stable so that you don't have too much movement through your lower back segments. We want to be able to move the thoracic spine like we've just done, And at the same time, we want to have some nice stability through the lower back area, because that's generally where golfers get injured.
For sure.
So let's get down quickly. We're going to just do a really basic one here. So now we're going to just get on our back.
Okay.
Now I'm going to test you a little bit here to see how strong you are.
Ooh.
Okay, so you can relax your neck so you don't put any strain. So what we're going to do is a basic glute bridge. So pull your feet in a little bit more underneath you. Yeah, that's 100%. A little bit less. There you go. Okay, now we're going to just try and lift that pelvis up off the floor. So a little bit of a glute bridge. Can you feel that?
Ooh.
Okay.
I did legs yesterday and glutes.
Oh, did
so
you?
I'm feeling the burn, but definitely.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try and see if you can keep that stable while extending one leg. That's the progression.
Etienne, we were friends before we started.
There you go. A little lower, a little lower, a little lower. With your leg, not your, yeah, there we go. And what we check for now is you're really strong here. We check to see if this can stay nice and stable. So that glute, I don't know if you can feel it, but that left leg's glute's really firing.
I can feel everything.
Can you feel that?
I can definitely feel everything.
Okay, so this is actually one of the tests we run, and then we can also create that into an exercise. So why don't you just relax back down and try the other side for me?
Okay.
So first, I'll push up, and then let's extend the opposite leg there. There we go. Well done. Really nice and stable there. I bet you if the normal sort of viewer is going to try this, they're going to see quite a bit of buckling in the pelvis area there. So you're actually good to play already, because that sort of pelvis, lower back area should be able to stay nice and stable when you're moving, which means you'll move in the right areas.
Where can people get hold of you? Because I'm sure people's excited now to try this new thing, try some of these exercises. Where can people get hold of you?
So this is our company, we're Yoga Golf Academy. We're based at 3 different locations in the Cape Town region and in Johannesburg as well. So you can just Google our company, you can see which sites we've got available. But I would encourage you guys to get the physical screen done so you can see which areas you need to target to get better.
Well, there you have it. Hopefully you are inspired to try golf, try something new. We definitely had fun. But again, let us know what you thought of that Expresso Morning Show on S3.
Well, from a swing like the Big Easy, if you're looking for a quick and easy dessert to make with just 5 or 6 ingredients, then look no further. Try our Clover Classic Quick Strawberry and Custard Pastries. And we stress the word quick. Ooh. They will wow your guests, they will wow your taste buds, and they're ideal for the next dinner party that you're throwing because they've got a little bit of pizzazz, but they are really simple and, of course, flaky, buttery, and delicious, filled with the smooth and creamy taste of Clover Classic Custard, topped with some fresh strawberries. Boom. Hey?
I don't know what.
Wow.
What would they call this? What? Like...
I think we moved into the baseball space, but it's fine. This is a home run of a recipe.
It's a home run.
I love it. It is quick and simple, which we like. And if you are going to be preparing food for a number of people, if you are having guests over, you don't want it to be too involved, so you're spending like 9 hours in the kitchen and not out there socializing and doing your thing. So I think this is a crowd pleaser, and it's like comfort food, yeah?
It is. It is. It's comfort food. Some people would say this is almost like a Danish that you can have for breakfast. Some people would say it's like a snack that you have after lunch. I'd say it's an anytime snack, anytime meal. It's a gap filler for sure. And it starts off with 2 generous cups of our Clover Classic Custard. In fact, I'm just going to pour it straight from the bottle.
Right in there,
I'm just going to go in there. And I'm going to add about 2 cups of that Clover Classic Custard into there. And then just about a tablespoon of our Clover Classic into here, because this is now the thickening of our custard that we're making for the filling.
What is in there?
We've got some cornstarch. So all we're doing here is...
And that's a stock standard if you want to add a bit of backbone to your custard. Give it a bit of metal, yeah?
So what happens is whenever you're trying to add cornstarch into any type of mixture, try to make sure that you mix it separately before adding it to the rest of your ingredients, because what happens is if you don't do that, you end up with lumps in whatever sauce or whatever you're trying to thicken up. So in this instance, we're using our Clover Classic Custard. You could use it as it is, but the whole idea is we want it to at least just hold its shape while it's inside.
Have a bit more body, for
just
sure.
a bit more body. But while I do this, I'm going to, in fact, can I ask you to just
I'm there.
Get in there, mix that up for us, because we've got some that's already heating up here. I'm going to get started with our pastries. You spoke about the pastry, the base that we make here. Basic, simple puff pastry from the store. You don't need to worry yourself about...
And you need the puff pastry for this, because you need that flakiness, the kind of butteriness, the crispiness, because the texture here is of vital importance.
Of utmost importance. And we're just cutting it into nice big squares. And then these squares are the ones we're going to brush with a bit of egg wash. Let me just cut up our last
look, that's already starting to come together.
That looks perfect, my G. You've done well. You've done well.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that there for you.
Done very well.
Look, it is easy when you're using your Clover Classic Custard because it is so versatile to use with desserts. Obviously, it's sweet, creamy, and it's delicious. And you can really enjoy it on its own. I think that is like a coming of age for most kids is when you're allowed to just have your own mug of Clover Classic Custard. I love it. But it's perfect as a treat to enjoy and spoil your family, especially in classic recipes. It's something simple that can elevate things. And that's what we're doing here. I'm a big fan of like the continental breakfast pastries involved, that kind of vibe. So, and it's always at a hotel. You never get to do it at home. So to be able to bring that into the home as easily as this, major win.
That's it. So now that we've done it, we've basically cut them into little squares, and then all we do is we fold them over to create somewhat of triangles, right?
Okay.
So what happens now is we in essence creating something that's going to puff up, because you know that the puff pastry has these beautiful flaky layers, right?
The layers, so those are all going to separate the puff individually.
And puff up and bake in the oven, get golden brown, and basically that'll be the end product.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've sliced some little ridges into it. And now, did you nick my spoon?
I did nick your spoon, my apologies.
No, that's fine.
I did nick your spoon. And so in essence what happens is our Clover Classic custard mixture has to cool down before you fill it into your pastries, otherwise it'll basically disintegrate, or basically it'll make your puff pastry melt up in the center, and we don't want that.
Soggy, yeah.
We don't want soggy bottoms. And I mean, that already looks expensive, right? Imagine inviting guests over and they see that. They'll probably think you hired a private chef to come impress them.
Oh, I kind of did. I kind of did do that. But I love this where, you know, just look at how beautiful and dainty that looks.
Yeah, that actually looks good.
It really does look good. A lot better than I am. So I think it's allowing me to punch way above my weight class. I'm going to finish the other one here, and then I'm going to eat them both because I deserve that.
You deserve it.
No, I do love this. And when I say the word, I say it a lot here, but when I mean crowd pleaser, I'm going for that minimum effort, maximum value out in the end. And this does have impact. It looks spectacular. And of course, it is absolutely delicious. And one thing you're guaranteed with Clover Classic, you, of course, also have a chance of winning daily. And to win your share of R500,000 in prizes, you've got to enter this competition. You've got to buy any Clover Classic custard, dairy snack, fat spread, or their mayonnaise, and then WhatsApp your till slip of that purchase to 074 909 0000. And the terms and conditions that do apply can be found on clover.co.za. It's classic, it's timeless taste, and I'm going to go and have a taste. Wow.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Christmas comes early on Expresso as Golden Cloud and Beacon search for South Africa's best friends baking duo. You and a friend stand a chance to win the grand prize worth 50,000 Rand in the ultimate Christmas in July bake-off. To enter the challenge, create your bake with Golden Cloud and Beacon. Share your photo of the bake on the Golden Baker Search Christmas in July edition competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages, or WhatsApp line on 063 814 2300 using hashtag Golden Baker Search. And tell us why you are SA's best baking duo and why you think your creation is the best. You could be one of the 5 finalists competing live on Expresso for the grand prize worth 50,000 Rand. The winning duo to be crowned live on Expresso this July. Brought to you by Golden Cloud and Beacon. Entries close on the 17th of July. Details and T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We have a few minutes left, which means there's time for another performance. Pat McKay is here alongside CJ, and they are back on the Expresso stage and performing one last time for you this morning. This song is called Where the Light Gets In. Take it away.
Were you taught to keep the poison down? They never knew it would come pouring out. Or very few with whom you can talk it out. I speak to you, can you help calm me down? Calm me down. Calm me down. It's a cry, where the light gets in the air. I snap, cause the pain was tender. Had my back since the age of 10, yeah. Side to what your friends depend. Well, blinded by my faith, now I'm wide awake. And I am sober now, don't ask me to get high. Embrace my rage when I was told to keep it down, down, down. Broke out the cage, this scared I'm getting out. You should be scared I'm getting out. You should be scared I'm getting out, yeah. There's a crack where the light gets in, yeah. I snap, cause the pain was tender. Had my back since the age of 10, yeah. Sad to watch your friends depend, yeah. My people, we were born and raised from the car such a massive with the saunas blaze. Born sleeping, now I'm wide awake. From the champagne breast I was torn away. And all the people that my father saved never called me even when he passed away. Now I'm busting out on full parade, cause such a gangster setting this town ablaze. Guitar licks, no backing tracks to play. And I'm honest like my first MDMA. Hey, hey. I snap, cause the pain was tender. Had my back since the age of 10, yeah. Sad to watch your friends depend. Thank you.
Yeah, we love you, Pat McKay. You can find him at Pat McKay Music online. Go and show him some love because he's shown us a lot of love this morning. Take another bow, gentlemen. Absolutely superb.
Well done,
You are
Pat.
amazing.
Amazing.
Why am I so excited right now? Because tomorrow we are going Minion crazy.
It's all about the Minions tomorrow.
We love it, the rise of Gru. So what are we going to be wearing? What is the color?
You actually look like Gru today.
I do. Well, tomorrow I'm not going to be in black. I'm going to be in blue and yellow. Cannot wait. So join us for that. And thank you to all of our amazing guests today. You are amazing at home as well. We'll see you tomorrow.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Ciao. Yay.
Okay, stop. For when it's chilly or rainy or just for the sake of it, here's the toastiest ways of keeping winter at bay, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.